spoon. Yeah, tutto spoon. If you eat cake and graduate, my brother, tutto spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, tutto spoon. Yeah, tutto spoon. You want to get a news update, tutto spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Spoon TV. Skiddy dabado. Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment. Kua. Bese kua dileo. Kua dileo. On the spoon. Yes, I information. On the spoon. To be spoon television.
Yes, stand home with the spoon, and your boy right at the south and back. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just tutto spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just tutto spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, tutto spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, tutto spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just tutto spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, tutto spoon. Yeah, tutto spoon. Yeah, tutto spoon. You from Fonjama, Maryland, tutto spoon. Yeah, tutto spoon. If you eat cake and graduate, my brother, tutto spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, tutto spoon. Yeah, tutto spoon. You want to get a news update, tutto spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV.
From the CEO, stand home with the spoon, and your boy right at the south and back. Charges on the beat.
It's yet another day, a pleasant way to say welcome to another edition of the program Spoon Talk. Spoon Talk is here, Spoon Talk is there, Spoon Talk is everywhere. Where you get authentic information you can use as tools and not to abuse. Like Muhammad Gandhi said in our quote, you must be the change you want or you wish to see in the world, unquote. Let's talk the talk as we walk the walk. Look around, you call a friend to tell a friend that indeed Spoon Talk is on.
Spoon gonna
Get glued to your gadgets and form part of the discussion of key national issues.
What is happening in Africa?
Dr. Richardson is on the other end. James Good is Flomo. Is here as well. The CEO and the rest of the team be joining shortly. My name is Rufus Divine Carnet, your sound coordinator for tonight's presentation. Before much I do, I love to say good evening from my end.
Rufus and James, how are you guys doing today?
Well, I'm pretty good by the special grace of God.
Well, God morning me. The town chief is in town.
Town chief?
God morning me.
That's true. Rare town chief for real. I'm so in different words. I just got what you said. You're right. That's a real town chief for real.
When the town chief is in town, everyone has to get their seat correctly before you cross path.
That's not the interpretation that I had in my head, but I had a whole country that looks like a town, a village, and so
thank God the writer is the right interpreter.
Say that again.
I said, thank God the writer is the right interpreter.
Who's the writer?
The person who said the town chief is in town. I just gave the interpretation.
Move from here, man. Anyway, hello. How you doing today, my good people of Liberia? We are back here today. Rufus Divine Carnet, I kind of like your opening word from Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi is such an inspirational human being. He's practiced the nonviolence movement and also was just into humanity. So I think you said you must be the change you want to see in the world by Mahatma Gandhi. I think that would be great if those of you who are under our voice, if you sort of pick up from what Rufus Divine Carnet is saying, in order for us to change this world, we must contribute. If we all sat down, it would sat on James, it would be James writing being the writer here. James would be the scripter. So we don't want to sit down. If y'all want James to be your writer, then y'all just sit down. If y'all want Mahatma Gandhi to be your writer, then y'all get out and do something.
Me and no press conference on the way coming.
Oh boy, yeah, that the order of the day, like bro, press conference.
Me and no reporter coming.
Y'all should do church conference, press conference, church conference. The president spoke in the church. That church conference you are doing, like what? That press conference, church conference. Which one?
So, I know my people can waste them before the week comes to an end. They will report.
But yeah, now we'll do the real thing.
Yeah, now you have a debate.
She's just yeah, man. He's just crazy.
And I even ready to debate with anybody.
Yeah. With everything going on, like we have to have a sense of humor. We gotta laugh about it, although it's really, really serious. But we have to laugh about it to keep seeing and to not have, small people renting space in our head. So we have to just, keep seeing about it. But you guys did a good job in terms of providing information to the Liberian people. This morning I saw, Nelson, Aaron, and you, James. And
Trojan, Francis.
I saw
Yekezi and Chodople.
Yeah, that was nice of you guys to provide information to Liberians. And I didn't get to see the entire thing. I was a little tied up this morning. So I didn't get to watch it. So I hope you make clips of it that we can play here.
Jack asked me for update.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay, tell the update. Say you can't for me to ask me.
No. Just take a break. You come back and tell me, Gene, what did the president say?
I'll tell you what, Gene.
Just summary.
Let me summary. I don't even want to know what the president said. But anyway, we gotta tell like Brent what the president said. So what the president said, tell us. Make sure you're very, very objective. This is where good journalism skills.
Madamito. That me talk before I can be objective. I just talking what somebody.
Oh, if you're doing it like that, then that's good. Then they're good. They interpret. Then you're a good interpreter.
but will,
But
what is objectivity in
if you
this?
filter it in and making it sensationalizing it, then it will be a different story. But go ahead. Go
But
ahead.
will, I want to ask one question. Where is the objectivity? That Richardson came on, she said, tomorrow I'm going to Liberia. Rufus asked me, James, can you please give me update from that Richardson came? And I come out to and say that Richardson said, tomorrow she's going to Liberia. Anything that will be objective about it.
No, that morning I was hearing you guys. I was hearing how you guys were describing their arrival. I was like, the words you guys were using was very interesting. So it was not like you are not reporting the president is arriving. You are saying we are looking around and the place is massive and all of that stuff. So that's what you're reporting today.
Oh yeah. That report was done by Aaron and Choko. They were giving the
play-by-play.
The play-by-play description, and according to them, it was like a flow of an ocean.
They see that's very subjective right there. Very subjective.
I said, according to them, it was like a flow of an ocean. And Chokon said, Chokon reached to a point where he said,
What? So that check your up till let move forward.
I just want to be, Chokon said, I can't believe my eyes. What I'm seeing today, this is beyond recognition.
Look at that.
We never expected this to happen.
All of that.
He said, this is the first time in the history of the return of the president of the Republic of Liberia to see him be trooping in like the ocean lost control. I was like, what? Then the cry is too much.
You see? Very subjective.
Emphasis.
Yes, you see, very subjective. So did anybody cover the economic loss that occur in Liberia today, having so many people leave their jobs, students left what they were doing, or whoever, market women, left their sale of products to come? Did anybody see that side of it, or it was just an overflow of the ocean?
Oh, Saturday, nobody lost, huh?
Well, I mean, Saturday, that's what you guys were saying.
I just asking. Saturday, everybody gained. Today, people lost.
No, I'm saying balance, because Saturday, you guys were saying, I'm not even going to go over Saturday. Saturday's a pass. We'll discuss it. We'll get here. But I just let's stay in the here and now.
Okay, so let's begin from Spoon Compound to RIA to Dominion Church, and then conclude to the CDC headquarters.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day today, a colorful day.
A beautiful day, a powerful day, all the flowery words. Come on, James, go ahead.
And a very hard-working day for our entire team.
It was not raining today, it was sunshine, huh?
No, we coming to the rain. I'm talking about the beginning part of the day. And our manager had to work over plus, like, when you open your mouth to say this, the manager will be there. Go left, go right, go front, go back. And she was
a manager.
Yeah, she was everything. She was everything to it, making sure that everyone is on the right path in studio. She will leave her office, run there. Yeah, let's do it. So, hey, Aaron, where are you? You're doing so. It was beautiful. That's the colorful part about Spoon Network. So our team arrived today at the Rabat International Airport, the gas station. Choko was in. Aaron and Francis, they were out. Francis Tikwa, they were out. And they started bringing us live update. And they gave, a real descriptive analysis. they gave real descriptive analysis of what was happening. And according to what we saw on TV and the commentary we got from them, seditious. Majority of them already made their way to the airport because this was planned to take place on Sunday, and it did not. So it means that the CDC was well prepared. They went beyond borders to make sure that their supporters gathered to welcome the president. This was the first time that the president traveled for 48 days since he became president of. Oh. Well, me, that I just see. He asked me for up there.
I swear,
This-
and I'm funny, but just the thought of somebody leaving a country like for 48 days is scary enough to me, And
Yeah.
here it is, you just flowing with it. You just flow with it as if to say it's okay.
Yeah, so the president, this was the first time I provided coverage for President Weah's return so many times. We did not see the multitude of supporters who turned out today compared to the past. And that all started because the president went for 48 days and they wanted to give a historic welcoming ceremony so that the nation will remember that when the 24th president went out for 48 days, when he was coming back, this is how the people of Liberia, quote unquote, his supporters, turned out at the Roberts International Airport, the church, and his party headquarters to welcome him. And I think they were successful. Buses were lined up like a huge traffic around Douala. Yeah, they made their way there and they got at the Roberts International Airport. They welcomed their president. I think the president arrived between 12:01 or between 1 and 2, somewhere there. I may not be exact with the time. He departed Accra 12 o'clock, a few minutes past 12. He departed Accra, so he arrived there between 1 and 2. And
I heard somebody say, "Oh, the president is in the airspace of Liberia. He is somewhere around Grand Gita." I said, "Jesus."
yes, at that time he was around Grand Gita and Chokon. It was Chokon. Chokon said the president was in the airspace of Liberia, and he said the atmosphere on the ground was not normal because you had traditional leaders, everyone who trooped in. He said it was beyond what they expected, and the traditional leader here spoke, Chief Zaza Kawa. He was asked, "Why are you here with your entire delegation?" He went with a battalion. He
That
went
was
with
good
a
English,
battalion.
huh? That was good English.
Yeah. he went with a battalion, meaning he had entire team at his back, and he said they were there to welcome the president because they are the fathers of the land. And when their son travel, he's returning, they all have to be there to make sure that their son is back and everything is okay. So he made so many comments. He said they were happy that the president is returning home safe. They know now that the leader of the land will be back and everything will be okay. And the action, "Are you happy with the president return?" He said, "Yes, I'm the father, and we are the fathers here, so we are happy." And when the president landed, they welcome him traditionally. We are from Lofa, we know it. They welcome him with kola nut and chicken. That is to tell you are welcome into the land. Whenever you get into a traditional place where you have traditional folks, if you are not welcome with kola nut, white rice, or chicken, it means you are not welcome. Just make your way back to where you're coming from. Meaning the people there, they are not welcoming you. So they did that traditional aspect, and the president, he shook hands with his ministers, traditional leaders, and he came out, he waved at his many supporters who were stationed at the Roberts International Airport to welcome him. And he left for Dominion Church. At Dominion Church, we had our reporters there, Yekezi and Chodople, Sylvester Chodople. They were there. They gave us more update. Yes, there was a little clash where few seditionists wanted to attack them, or they may attempt to attack them, calling them with names because they don't like the way Spoon present, or they are not fan of Spoon. So they try attacking them. According to Yekesi, they were attacked there by those supporters. And at the end of the day, everything came under control. Chokon Lender, when Chokon Lender at Dominion Church, he had access to enter in the building. Few minutes after the president arrived, when the president arrived, there was this formal ceremony where pastors had to pray for the president. I don't know why, but they believe that he deserved it. And they preach, made announcement, called a huge offering, very huge one, beautiful offering. And at the end of the day, we saw the president of Liberia.
Rupert, they're laughing. I don't know why you're laughing.
We saw the president at first. We saw the president of Liberia.
The description of the offering.
Yeah. We saw the president of Liberia mapping the podium to give report of what he brought for us. He got there, he explained how he left Liberia to France, to Morocco, to here, everywhere. He gave us update. And then we saw the real George Weah. At that time, we had to brace ourselves to see. Okay, all right, I hear you. We had to take a break to meet the real George Weah. I'm talking about the president, but at this time he said, "I want to be very, very simple," and it was fire. That other fire I can't get inside. Nothing I was taught from there until you kind of. You knew that originally.
I say so. You wait for the crew to come before you talk.
No, that one I can't talk on the BBT. That you thought that when I talk to the CEO, you send me by la.
Okay, when you go by, we'll used to.
The thing that he talk.
I will talk you something.
The thing that the president thought when he got in a crew jacket, when he wore a crew jacket like this, I can't talk. When I talk, it will be bad. So that one, I leave it well. When he got in the crew jacket, he shook a jacket and then he said, "I want a simple thing." No way.
Oh, he said you want a simple thing? A man say you want to be simple.
Chief, you yourself can't even believe what
I was first I was working that to Richard. I've been working.
I know.
I was working, so I didn't listen to it. I tried to listen to it, but I know we get it clear. A lot of people say a lot of stuff about the president simple English, and message. But what did he bring back, Rufus? Do we see anything?
Well, until we wait and see. Until we wait and see after all of the beautiful, according to Jim's description, beautiful speeches he actually gave. Tomorrow is when we're going to unearth or reveal what the president brought to the people of Liberia after the 49 days.
Nande, what we said Nande, we say our mamao. They say Gina Neclon. Adio. Gina Neclon. The devil said in town. That's interesting.
Yes.
But I saw something though. I saw the numbers, right, of people. No. I know we started the show yet because everybody waiting. Philip Bala, I know we started the show yet.
We welcome our guests.
I know that to Richard, I will go find my potatoes green. You will do that one because you really need to do that one today. What we saw today compared to Retire Suffering Rally, no ifs, ands, or but.
Can I pause you there and just compare the two videos?
No, yeah, do it.
Okay, let me do it right now.
Let Dr. Richard say it. Do it.
Yeah, let me do it.
Do it quick.
Let me start with Retire Suffering.
Please, Retire Suffering.
Here comes.
But put them together.
Retire Suffering. Let's go to CDC headquarters.
Our gratitude to all of you.
I want to see.
No, James. Hold on.
Let me keep it.
Was that 2017?
No.
No.
You were really busy today.
No.
You were busy.
James, I'm very busy.
Yeah, I know.
Saturday, the school closing. I got to put things together. Was that 2017?
No, just few hours ago. Less than 2 hours ago.
Seriously?
I'm serious.
No, James, do me a favor. I'm begging you. Put a Retire Suffering and put to the CDC headquarters. Can you do that? Can you do that? Make a Christmas good.
Okay, let me take a break and do that.
You would kill me, my man. You would kill me. Everything I'm trying to do, my man, them people will hustle me to the last down drop. Yeah, you said let me take a break and be back. No, but James, hey, Dr. Richardson, help us, because I know we're about to start the show soon. Everybody coming on. But Dr. Richardson, help us though. Let's see the Retire Suffering rally again, please.
Okay, let me go to Retire Suffering. Retire Suffering.
Our gratitude to all of you for giving all this. Rising, welcome.
Let me stop it there.
So, James, on the Retire Suffering rally, I'm seeing people setting color and cool water.
People are fighting for bread.
No. We saw that, right? Because that's how it is. But I hope you're not lying to us today, James. What you showed from the CDC headquarters, was it today?
Okay, you're going to hear President Weah talking about his return.
No, but you can edit the thing, James.
It was today. Couple of hours ago.
Seriously?
About 2-3 hours ago.
Today.
Today, this very day.
Nande.
And he even
No, Jim, no. Dr. Richardson.
Yes.
Dr. Richardson. Can you say something?
Unimpressed?
No, because Jim's trying to pull our legs, right? They cry. Those people at CDC headquarters.
I see them.
Bring it?
Those people. No, don't bring it. I'm trying to pause. I'm trying to drink some water.
Get some water.
Let me drink some water. That's a big bottle of water to feed you water. That's what you're saying. I see the guys coming. I see if I go in the back and they're coming on.
Great.
But that's what you're saying. Can you say something, please? Why I take us there? Well, what kind of one battle behind you, Dr. Richardson? Is that Abraham root battle on the other side? Is that a root battle?
No, this is when Obama was elected.
Oh, okay. So that clean battle, nothing in there.
7 year.
Okay, nothing in there. Thank you.
What am I?
I just looking around your office, but let's bring in Fago. I know we'll be starting the show soon. Because what I want to say today, if the president can return to the country, a massive welcome. With that massive welcome. Tonight's show will be great. Tonight's show will be great. Talk to us, Dr. Richardson.
I mean, I see the pictures, depending on what angle or your lens that you want to compare. Indeed, he was welcomed, but I'm not, as you probably know me by now, not a person to be impressed by crowd. I'm not a crowd politician or a crowd panelist. I'm impressed by substance and what did Papa bring home. So that would be something that I'll be focusing on. So I popularity and all of those things don't move me too much.
Papa not
Substance.
come. Papa not come.
What Papa bro?
Papa not come.
Papa, what Papa bro?
The fagon. Lame. Papa not come. Papa in town. The picking ain't gotta go to bed early. Or we gotta start eating chicken. But who ran to receive Papa? You know when the Papa will come in on the highway, then we running, and, because the Papa will get small candy for you, something in that bag for you. Oh man, my Papa used to come from where you get a briefcase.
Yeah, Papa D.
Then you will call me and say Saul. My father used to call me Saul because the initial Stanton A. Witherspoon. Running to Papa, our horse facing the road, you gotta run. It's a good run. Who first reached to Papa? Get a candy. Then when Papa come, Papa eat, then everybody's hanging around first. Anything leader, Papa giving it to you, you're not good. Papa don't come. What in Papa briefcase? So paper? That candy? Fago, what in Papa briefcase? Papa don't come.
Well, first of all, good evening, folks, and it's great to be here. Before I answer your question, let me appeal to the National Elections Commission to go back to their website and put on there the 2017 results as it used to be. Whoever told them to take it out, we are in the 21st century. We're not ignorant people. We use that to do our analysis, and any attempt by them to erase the information they had there, to take it away from the Liberian people.
I mean, you got to reach our news desk with this information for
I
us
will
to
see
assess
it more or less like they want to cheat and they want to rig the elections. And that's my opinion, and I'm standing by it. You don't go back to your website and wipe out a whole page because you don't want people to know the information or get it. It's sad.
That flat talk.
So,
Papa not come.
I like the fact you say Papa not come, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It just tells you.
How about you add what I said? You like what did Papa bring? That why I said Papa D.
Yes, sister. The man bring that.
You balance now. Add both sides.
There you go. Please add both sides, man. Please.
I just think it's now that Dr. Francine have said that, I'm trying to wonder how much Molu and his group stole, because they took 70,000 from ANC.
Wow.
But if the post stole 70, because you see, Stanton, if Molu and his men stole money from the CDC, right, you won't see them in those beautiful berets, nice T-shirts, jubilating vehicles, buses, water, food. I'm wondering if Molu then did not steal the 70,000 from Cummins. That's what I'm wondering. Because the purpose of that 70,000 is what Molu utilized today. Who can doubt that? Who wants to argue? You brought 70,000 for your rally, but the seditions took it and went and welcomed their leader. You want to debate that?
No, they're customers.
How about Dr. Richardson? Wait, let's get a man in 30 seconds.
They're customers taking money from our
Dr. Richardson, wait now. The guys,
I
beg you, let's pause for a minute now. Dr.
Sorry,
Richardson.
I interrupted you, Mr. Paco.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to understand what Fago going with this other twisting.
You know exactly
Fago. I got you though. We got a picture from the airport. We got a picture from the church. We got a picture from the headquarters.
Stanton.
Something about the 70,000 coming into question. Talk to me.
I called Molu a couple of times today because I'm suspecting him and his gang of stealing Kumi's 70,000 and taking the people out to the airport, to the church, and to the party headquarters. 70,000 got missing for a rally. And that rally was not held. But a day or two after that rally, a magnificent, gigantic, colorful, populated rally was held. Why should we not accuse Molu and his men of stealing Kumi's 70,000? What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. Because you know what? The purpose of that 70,000 was achieved today. No debate. It was to bring out the Liberian people. It was to show the world that the ANC was a great party. But that did not happen. But let me speak to your papa coming home. What did he bring?
No. I'll pause you. I'll pause your time is up. We'll come back to Papa coming home. That's our main.
No, but you said, what did he bring? Give me 10 seconds to tell you what he brought. Give me 10 seconds. That was your question.
Go ahead.
What Papa brought to the Liberian people today was truthfulness and honesty. And what that says, me, I got money, I got nothing. But me and y'all, we die together. The people shouting.
You bought that lot?
But Dr. Richard say, how they want coming in at Dr. Richard say, we'll come back to you, please.
Me, I got money. And I care my PB friend in America. And I'm an investor. I was not corporate man. I tell y'all. But y'all know me and y'all will die together because together we have built more roads than any party or president. We have done more in education than any party or president. We've built more hospitals than any party or president. We've stabilized our economy to where we brought down inflation to almost nothing. Right now, I don't owe government employees. They don't want me days to work. Tomorrow, I'll go look for them to their office to see whether they came because I've paid them all their monies. At the end of the day, we can go on and on. He has a lot to show. Why, Stanton? Because in 5 years, how many years did COVID ravage the world? If we agree that this global pandemic ravaged the world for almost 2 years, then you have to take 2 years from 4 years, 6 months. And in 4 years, 6 months, he's built more hospitals than any regime. He's constructed more roads than any government. He's done well in education. The only place I think we've not done well, I will always say it, national security. We've not done well with law and order. And there is still time. But when you want to criticize him, then you have to come with something.
This is just our intro. This gonna be one of the worst days for somebody on this show again. I don't know. Maybe that's somebody will be me. Maybe that somebody will be me. Kefiko, Albert, Papa Naka, listen to what I'm going to say. Before you speak, James, please pull out these pictures. Give it to us. I am confused. I really don't believe that's today. I think this is 2017. James Goudet, stop watching the game. Pull up the pictures.
Our gratitude to all of you for giving all this rising welcome, for showing all the love that people are looking for. We will not fail you. We will not fail you. We will work for you. And this is what we're doing. You listen to me in the church. I don't have to repeat myself. Everything that they say is wrong, that they don't want to spoil it.
Wow. Kev.
How you guys doing? You see, people always say this president popularity or this president, and I said this thing in the back, when it comes to the presidency, when it comes to elect president to this coming election or the past, it's a different dynamic. What you are watching is to show the tsunami that coming. You put side by side with the other rally, what the tire Cummings, whatever they call it. But today, from the airport to the church to the headquarters, if you're opposition, you don't give up, you probably have 9 lives. Because I'm telling you, and if I were opposition, I would be afraid. See you 2 days. 2 days. You had a rally from the CPP, the man who claimed to the international community and say, the people of Liberia want me, I will win first round. He said it all over in America. He went to Congress and said, I'll win first round. Just a welcoming. Not even the welcoming in February. That's the welcoming. If I were opposition, I would be really, really afraid. I will be really afraid. But we'll go deep into that.
Guys, we will be playing the videos, showing the pictures and everything.
Did I hear President Weah say the people who say they're suffering look at their stomach?
No, we'll be playing the pictures. We'll be playing the something.
The one you play about
wait, I beg you. We'll play again. We'll play. We got a long time. That's what you're saying.
Opening?
Yeah, I want bring you in.
Oh.
Please.
So it's good to see everybody here today. We're going to have a wonderful and spirited conversation. I just want the Liberian people to keep in mind a few things about, this whole crowd analysis that we're doing. It is just but a crowd analysis, and it will be helpful if we can show, the pictures side by side, parameters by parameters, and also by angle how it's been shown. And I want Liberians to keep in mind that, the CDC headquarters is a confined space. So the projection of how people will appear in that confined space might also be different than, what you have on an open playing field, like, the stadium. So those are all the things that we should keep in mind. But, the brief clip that you show, that showed President Weah speaking to the Liberian people, for me, is not so much of who went to see him, how they saw him, but it's what is Liberia getting from a president who stayed away for, 49 days. So those are the things that concerns me. I'm not impressed by, when I hear people say he built hospitals, he built roads. I'm more impressed about longevity plan, the plan that will have to sustain this road, the effectiveness of the hospital, who's doing all of those checks and balances of those things. I'm not impressed by, mayor, he built this hospital. And lastly, I want to say that, there were a couple of divisive comments that we're probably going to, when somebody says, the whole thing that the bill will say is wrong. Okay, I was speaking, I just heard noise. Everything that the bill is wrong. And they are the one who spoiled it. That's just a beginning of divisiveness. Like, who are we talking about here, And, yeah, so for further, we'll explore that. And lastly, let's understand the reason why seditions and people go to gather. We're on this show. I believe it was Mo Ali who gave us a description of why people go to gathering. He says some people are pay agents. Some people go there to eat. Some people go there to see what happens. Some people go there to take pictures. Some people just go there to be a part of the event. So for all of those reasons, I will not sit on this show and draw a wild conclusion to say, oh, this is what to come in on October 2023 for all of those reasons. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a spirited conversation today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Let me bring in the Dr. Peabody and Centurion and George. Centurion and George, your intro.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Today, arrival of the president in the country, and the remarks. If I was in opposition community, like Kev said, I'll be worried right now. Say what you want to say. The CDC plan for the welcoming of President Weah to the country. It came out in droves, came out in numbers. They had a organized and planned, a heroic and rousing welcome. President Weah took advantage of the bully pulpit and went after his opposition opponents. He went after them in plain and simple English. He went after them. And that's how he will relate to the ordinary Liberian citizen. Make no mistake. Joseph Boyka coming in Taiwan Gongo right now. It should be taken twice now about
your dog, Georgie. Your dog. Dr. Peabody, let's bring you in, please.
Yeah. And they should be taking right now about how they can form some pact to come together. But I can tell them, if they think the way they are treading will get into the presidency, if they're not careful, George Weah will beat in the first round and it'll be history. Thank you.
Dr. Peabody.
CEO, let me say this. Good to see everybody. Let me say this. Today I was taking on just a familiar scripture I always read. It says in a text that says that there's a time and season for everything, and the people are unmoved by even corruption. The Liberian people are moved by all the things we see, the president traveling for 48 days, spending a lot of money. They are unmoved by everything that happened in the country. They're even unmoved by suffering and all of that. And what I can say, this is George Weah time. And, that's his season. There's a time and season, and this is George Weah time. That's all I can say.
Wow. I read the Bible a little bit, but not like that to Peabody. But to say the people are unmoved through everything that is happening in the country, the people are unmoved, saying that it's. Can we also say it's because there are alternatives, just not the right alternative? The people are not getting what they can settle for when you talk about change. But let's have a great show. Thank you, Dr. Richardson, Kep Hassan, Centurion George, Dr. Peabody, Eugene Nangbe.
Eugene Nangbe.
If I say Eugene Nangbe, I need Eugene Fago, not you, but I just call Eugene Nangbe.
You give me my time to open you. You just ask me question.
You have your time, brother. You want to open? Me. Go ahead. You're right. I asked you a question. You're right. So let's go. Let's talk to us. Give us your intro of what happened today. The president is back.
Stanton, what you saw today was a protest, just like Tomalin said to the opposition, that if you're not ready, let's show you what we did in 2017. It was a complete protest, in my opinion. Forget about the love for President Weah. Forget about his party support. What you saw today was a complete protest. And if members of the opposition understood what Tomalin said, You think somebody is going to leave the person that is doing so well in their opinion to follow someone that cannot even put their act together? You want to unify a country, but you yourself, among yourself, you can't unify yourself. You talk about Liberian people don't need to be fighting, but you're fighting each other in the open courtroom. You talk about the Liberian people, for example, Dr. Peabody said, the Liberian people are on move. What is the incentive to move them? Give me one incentive from the opposition that will allow you, Peabody, to even be moved. And Dr. Francis said, I'm not impressed by the hospitals because they don't have whatsoever in them. And BTC only had a clinic the size of a classroom. This man built a 14 military hospital that now takes care of patients as we speak. You think you're not moved by that, or you're not impressed by the first military hospital in your country, let alone Bapolu, let alone River G, and others? Let's pause. If you are not impressed by the fact that all public universities and colleges are tuition free, what's then gonna impress you? If you're not impressed by the inner city road connectivity, if you're not impressed by the fact that he inherited a broke economy and a bad government, I know people will say you're preaching for this man, but I'm trying to tell you to put your act together. Because if you don't, you come with these cheap shots. Joshua will just step on there and give a pass. They call it now in football. Let me say this to you. You say you thought it was divisive. Okay? They spoil it, we face it. That's the kind of message that resonates with the people. You know why? Because Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who took the Unity Party, the Liberian Action Party, the Liberian Unification Party, 5 political parties, and put it together to come up with a Unity Party, was the chief architect and financier of the Civil War that destroyed everything. I'm not saying, Stanton, that Joseph Boakai was the one that was with Ellen, but do you know that Joseph Boakai, who is a candidate today, was a major, I mean his rank was major in the PRC government? Do you know that? Do you know he was commissioned? Ask him, he will tell you. Or should I send the picture to you? Look for it and send it. So George Weah is throwing these heavy jabs. The people you see saying today they come in, they're the ones spoiling. All the old thing you see that them. All the new thing you see that us. Is he wrong? What is divisive about that?
That's an intro. Let's move on.
That is comparative politics.
Favor, so, you laying these things out. Let me go back to Dr. Richardson and start there. But guys, it started all this morning. All right. You can compare and contrast. You can decide which lane you're going to take. You are free to express. It's okay. Dr. Richardson, the retired suffering rally took place on the 17th. A beautiful Saturday, sun was up. We got a picture. A lot of people went after retired suffering, misappropriation of the organization funds, the manner in which it was handled, complaint, we receiving report, investigation is still ongoing. At the end of the day, people blaming each other. Expectation wasn't met. Issue happened. You guys have less than 3,000 group members. If you add everybody together, the Yannon boys, the setters, the construction workers, the Liberian National Police that were present, you still have less than 3,000. Yeah, are we today? Beat on the president for 48 days. He watched the game in the World Cup. He did this. He traveled to this. He went on a safari. He went on a maritime. But look at the welcome today. Let's just talk about the surface. Then we will go into what did the president return with, which it is important. And a lot of Liberians out there want to know what did he bring back. Was the trip a success? Did it benefit Liberia? He met Joe Biden. He met world leaders. What came out of it? Now we're here now. The president there, vice president standing by the president. He's speaking to his base. He spoke to the Liberian people. Then what? Dr. Richardson, I just unfolded everything. Take any which lane. Give it your best shot. You have 2 minutes, and everybody else have 2 minutes without interruption.
So the question is, what did the president bring home? I think to be very objective, I'd like to give it another day or so to see how officials of the government, if they are sincere, to tell us, what did the president bring back for Liberia? Although you would have think as a very sophisticated government, they would have make some significant announcements as they were traveling, to kind of justify the reason why the president stayed away, as opposed to allowing us to now start to pick up the pieces together by even reviewing foreign journals, looking around to see what did the president bring. So it's an indication, that this government continues to look for a handout. It is unfortunate that we are still begging other governments as opposed to being a viable country where we are making arrangements and trying to tell them, listen, these are the resources that we have in our country. So in my opinion, I would still want to wait a little bit to assess that. I just wanted to add that we got to do some, comparison and welcoming of the president here compared to the rally. To me, those are two different things, and it's kind of interesting that we'll compare it. We also have to look at the events that led up to these two different events: a rally, a welcoming ceremony. We didn't see any intimidation of anyone at a radio station. We didn't see, any kind of cars being stopped or sabotaged. We didn't see, just different intimidation practices, such as denying people to use the space. So none of that occurred before this event. Okay. So in terms of sabotaging a rally, we know there was a movement to sabotage the rally. So we can also say there's a correlation between that movement to sabotage versus the people that attended the rally. But, needless to say, this welcoming took place. In other parts of the world, this does not happen. President leaves, he comes back, especially when we don't know what he's bringing back. But in Liberia, it's happening now, and some people think that it's okay. It is not okay with me.
Let me ask you a question. I know you went through your 2 minutes, though, but you have the president's speech. Is there anything on that speech telling Liberian what he came back with?
If you want to come back to me, I didn't get it. Did you post it?
Yeah, it's in the group chat. It is. Okay. It's in the group chat. You got it, Fago. I just posted it. I share it. All right, we'll come back to you. Kev Hassan. Yes, the same thing, Kev. Why you take your time and go through it? Yeah. Kev.
Okay. You muted.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to lay this thing for you. We can talk about the pictures, the video, and everything, but we want some substance here now, right? The president, was his trip successful? What did he return with? Talk to us, Kev.
Fagon said something the last time. He said Dr. Francine is letting it fast. So I like what she said. She said, I will, give me time to read about it instead of just coming out, So that's a smart move. But when you read, let me remind everybody, when the president was beaten, by sitting with folks in Qatar, a leader in Qatar. While he was there, that meeting that everybody beat on him, he secured $100 million for this Banga Lofa Road, the second phase. $100 million is there. Read it. You can read it, Dr. Richardson, you're a fast reader. Not only that, $50 million for sports facility around, your country. $50 million. That is $150 million for sitting down there talking. $150 million. We're having free ride, not paying for ride to Egypt. Free ride, 150. Some other $10 million here, yeah, and there. We'll go through it. You know, we'll go through the some of the things. We can also play the tape. The president talk about it. But that alone, coming to Liberia, if the president sit down home, that money will not be there. But the trip that this president was beaten on by the opposition brought home money that our children around will have a good sport facility. And the second phase of the Lofa Road, Banga Lofa Road, all those places will be constructed under the presidency. And Fagon said something. And even the Great America took away the COVID from Biden. We can play the speech. We'll have it. I can play it. America, the head, Chuck Schumer said it. So it's a fact. So if we take that 2 years, 3 years, let me say 2 years and 11 months, because next month we'll make it 3 years. With all this, and we're about to see the Papulu Hospital for all the trips, more hospital. If I go lay some of the things down, and I quote what the president said today, you want to protest against that? And that's why the people came out. Not because the people say are tired of suffering. You see, the people of Liberians are smart. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to listen to anybody who will come out and say, oh, we're tired of suffering. But when you were information minister in the last government, what were your protesters tired of suffering? When you were sitting in the comfort of your home in Georgia, when Liberian people were actually suffering, when Liberian people, when our women around Africa did things that we cannot repeat on this show just to survive. But some of them were sleeping in the comfort of their homes. And you know who was there? George Banawea. Then you come and say you're tired of suffering and put picture there and pass it around. The Liberian people cannot stomach deception. And deception into the highest places. And that's why you will not see the Liberian people there. Liberians are smart voters. Thank you, CEO.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Before I bring in Timon and George,
we have to stop today. Wow.
Well, can I pass to them first as I go through what you just sent me, please? For 3 minutes, I'll be back. Because you sent something to me and I want to go through it. I'm going through it quickly as possible.
I see you as mute.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I know who's doing this to me. I will just deactivate them and I will be fine. I was bringing in Fagon. Fagon, the same question, your same 2 minute. Talk to us. The person has returned, but you have the letter. I hope we are going through the letter from each country. President George Manawea staff, something came from that. We have to discuss it, but talk to us, Fagon.
That's why I want to pass on to the other two as I go through, because you just sent it to me. I just want to skim through it real quick.
But they themselves reading it as well. I'm reading it here because we just received it. Just give us something. I know we'll come back. Give us something.
I'll just give you something.
Yeah.
The president left for 48 days. And he got a commitment for $50 million for the port. He increased students in, and I'm not looking at it, but just the one I just skimmed through, just the basic, I'm not going through. And 15 additional students, bringing it to 25. $10 million for what you call it, the coastal work, if I stand to be corrected by one of my colleagues that I'm looking at here, for the coastal defense barriers.
For coastal,
then
yes.
He went on to Egypt. What the president did for me today, and I said it on this show when I was with you guys, he enumerated everything he got from each country. For me, I know people like to take political party because you there. When they see me dealing with the CDC, oh, I'm their champion. But when someone does good, don't say anything about that. Go, and that's why I wanted to break it by country. Because if you go by the countries that he visited, the days he visited the countries for, and what he got out of that particular country, he came to Liberia, he went to the church, and in the church, he laid it out. It's like you send your son or your daughter to the market, and they go to the market and come by about $10 pepper, about $15 or chicken soup, about half bottle of oil, the potato green was so and so. What President Weah did for his people today, he laid the case by saying, even though I was out of the country, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, there is no such thing as acting president. I hire people, I fire people while I was away, I signed bills, so I was working while I was away. And to show you that I was working while I was away, these are the things I got and I have brought back to the country. Stanton, go through the list. You just sent it to me. I would have packaged it in a way, country by country, and itemize it and value it with respect to either national
So hold on a minute, Fagon, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Yeah, hold on. Fagon, I want to pause you. And this is important. Everybody have the list. Thank you, Vic. The president started with his meeting in Tangier. We can talk about the other one prior to that, but the May Day Forum, we agree from the 2nd to the 5th. I know we're coming to you, Timothy George and Dr. P. But it will help our audience tonight to understand whether the president visit was successful.
Whether it was successful?
Yeah, and what did it bring? Hold on, Fagon. Tangier, let's talk about that. Met with senior government officials.
Okay.
And received commitment from the Hungary government for 50 million United States dollars in export credit for investment and other purposes in Liberia. 50 mil. Two, they were able to secure an additional 15 scholarship for young and deserving Liberian students to study, bringing to 25 the total number of scholarship from that country. Now you have 25 and you have the 50 mil. 3, you're talking about country by country. Let's talk about what in that country, Tangier, the opportunity to visit one of the largest port in Africa and securing a commitment for the National Port Authority of Sano County, transform and refurbish that port in Greenville. We will stop here and we will ask each and every one of you, is this a success from that country? Fagon, I will give you 30 seconds. We will not just bundle this up, we'll break them down into pieces. His visit in Tangier, you have that 30 seconds. He laid out 3 important things coming back to Liberia. Talk to us.
Damn, Stanton. You know, to me, it's like you want to push me back into my actual job as a propagandist. That is why you have to be careful when you put a price tag on something that has not materialized. If you say the president hold 48-day trip, as the opposition was running with, right? He took 1.5 million. He spent 2 million on the Liberian people money. Now, let's sit and think. The enumeration given by the president with respect to what you ask if we make true on the commitment of the 50 million and the rehabilitation of the Greenville port or whatever it is, the students and everything, in these 30 seconds, I will ask you, was it worth it? Was the 2.5 worth it? If your answer is no, it wasn't worth it, then we'll still come down to the next phase when you get there, and the next phase, and the next phase. So if on this part, I will say to you, his entire trip, as was being peddled by the opposition, cost the Liberian people 2.5 million, then we can say Tangiers alone made the difference. So was the trip successful? Of course. Because when we come to the two big ones from the United States, for elections and the commitment to Africa, you can't tell me if you had not been there, Liberian people can say, you go there, they'll free you up.
Thank you.
Indeed, you can look at that and say his trip to Tangiers was successful.
November 2nd through November 5th, St. Martin George, just in Tangier alone, the president saying, I secure $50 million for Liberia. 25 students now can go to that country, right? And now the Greenville, that port, I visited that port when I was in Sando in 1996. Somebody's stuff is giving a bad feedback. Let's try to meet a little bit. I visited that port when I was in Greenville during the election. And I would say this, in that port, we need to fix that port. Now, but the president have gotten a commitment to the National Port Authority as well as an undertaking to transform and refurbish the port of Greenville in Sando County. Don't tell me anything else, St. Martin George. Talk to me about day 2 through 5, the president commitment. Was it important at that time on those days?
Well, if the president today, in his speech, in a prepared text, he talked about countries that he visited and the commitments he received from this respective government, and it was millions of dollars. So once especially he talked about the low farm and the common highway, the road project, and so forth, you would tell that yes, he was his. I mean, the idea he was something from those countries. He got commitment from them. That means he left for the empty. So he brought commitment home and to help with development agenda. So in my estimation, yes, if the commitments that he got, yeah, he came with something from countries.
Thank you, Georgie. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to come back. Let's do this round just on those days. And just to add, though, there's a paragraph over there that is very important for those days and those countries. Incidentally, I wish to inform you that all direct expenses, including accommodation for me and my delegation, as well as the provision of an aircraft, which this is very important. Somebody just decided to call my phone and I lost track over here. As well as including provision for my aircraft, all right, he is saying to take me from Liberia to Morocco to Egypt were provided as a courtesy by the organizer of May Day's International Forum. I and my delegation did not pay a damn to get to these countries. So therefore, the president went to the country, got something out of it, and Liberia didn't pay a dime. Dr. Peabody, from the 2nd to the 5th.
Well, I don't know. That's what the president said. The fact Liberia, but the president also made a statement when he spoke to the Liberians community in DC and said that, I'm taking private plane to go do Liberian business and Liberian getting mad. That's what he said. So at this point, there are different stories. There are one point that I know Director Eugene said here that the president was taking one flight and then another flight would have been provided free of charge and stuff like that. That's what the president said, that the Liberian government did not pay a dime. But let's be clear here. I mean, that still did not justify the president leaving the country for 48 days. That does not justify the
But
president.
that's the end, though. We can have that argument. We are talking about this November 2nd. Dr. Peabody, we are not going to go to the end if we don't read the entire story. I'm asking you, the president making an argument now from the 2nd to the 5th. Yeah, I am. I have returned to the country. This is what I got for you. From the 2nd to the 5th, we come to the end. Whether it justify everything.
Well, you talk about people making commitment. Let us not confuse this. People can still make commitment and say, look, we're not going to continue. What are the conditions of those commitments? What are the conditions of the $100 million? What are the conditions of the $50 million? We just say, oh, the president came by 150. They just committed. Said we'll commit $150. But what are the conditions for those money that were committed to Liberia? They can come back and say, you know what? We're not going to give the money because you did not meet the conditions. So we shouldn't rejoice that the president, when he brings $150 million, we appreciate that he made arrangement to get $50 million or $150 million. The U.S. government, $165 million was allocated for
November 2nd to November 5th. It was $50 million that to Peabody. Let's follow the program. We are not talking about $150 million.
No.
From November 2nd to November 5th, if we read the document.
Falcon talk about there was $100 million. I'm summing up the total.
No, we don't want to sum up it. Dr. Peabody. We shouldn't do this. We want the people to understand.
Let me get my point.
No.
Everybody I'm going to talk about $150 million.
No, Peabody. Peabody, I know you want to go to the end. We'll get to the end.
I'm not going to the end.
For the Liberian people to benefit, the president laid this thing out in his speech today. From the 2nd to the 5th. I visited this country, and this is what I brought back. Your argument is that those are commitment. Valid argument.
Very valid.
The 15 students that were added, are they commitment? Will they travel to those countries to gain education? Valid argument. But I don't want us to jump around and try to confuse our audience tonight.
Keep going, Peabody.
That's why I'm sticking to you, Peabody. Let's stick with the $50 million. Let's stick with the Greenville seaport. That people talk about refurbishing and helping Liberia to have a better seaport. Let's talk about it.
Thing. If those funds are released and come to Liberia, it will benefit the port of Liberia. But I want to know what are the conditions for the commitment and also.
Thank you very much, Dr. Peabody. Dr. Richardson.
Peabody, if you're in my class, you would have gotten the A for that comment. You stole the words out of my mouth. Honestly, if you read the president's speech, you will see the words commitment, plan, expected, English guru, that good English. So it said that 100 million US was committed for Qatar. And yes, we should ask, is this commitment a loan or is this commitment a grant for our country? Are our grandchildren, our children going to be responsible for this money? And when are we going to get this money? And Peabody hit it on the nail. What are the conditions of this money? For heaven's sake, you spend 49 days and we're getting commitment, and we're getting words like plan to spend $50 million on sporting, plan to spend. So what are the commitments? What will stop this plan? What perpetuate this plan? We want to know as Liberians. And then it said a commitment to refurbish the port. Commitment, my people. Papa didn't bring anything home. He brought promises empty. You know how when your pastor, they come in and they don't show up? That's the feeling that he brought, to Liberians. Lastly, 45 scholarship. Liberians are very good. The government is very good at giving us scholarship. Even, I want to say Bagleton, Liberia receiving scholarship from international companies. My great-grandfather or whoever, I can say, came on Liberian scholarship to school. So scholarship, thank you, Mr. President, for adding, I think, 10, 15 more people. But the rest of it is free talk. Just how you tend to do free talking, that's exactly what it is. Plan, commit, expected. Nothing in the bag for our people to see.
Can I come in on that note?
No. Kev, come in. We'll come back to you. We'll come to you. Yeah, we'll come to you. Kev, come in. We're doing good, guys. We're doing good. Kev, come in. Kev.
Yeah, let me kind of should not go. I can understand where Dr. Francine coming from. I truly can understand about, because she's from
let's not make this personal, Kev, because we're having a great discussion. If you make it personal, I will go personal too. So just so you know.
I can understand where you're coming from, because they're coming from a political leader that make commitments and not follow through. So you know what it means to make commitment, not follow through. But let me tell you what commitment follow through. When the president went to UAE, it was commitment. It happened. The Bapulu Hospital, Riverside Hospital in Riverside. Those people who there in Qatar is a very serious man.
What happened to the 10 million euro grant in February? What happened to it?
Yeah, but I don't think we should be. Let's educate our people. Listen, you talk about and Dr. Piba, you talk about commitment, but the president has traveled before and gotten commitment, and they follow through. So I name it.
The teachers commitments.
Dr. Richardson, you don't want to do that. Everybody having their time to speak. Please, Kev, go ahead.
So I can understand, because $150,000 commitment for COVID never shows. So I can understand what they can do, But there's a commitment that we have seen, that this president had commitment, and naming the commitment. A lot of infrastructure in the country, a lot of commitment, follow through. So I would just name it two of them, the Bapulu of the UAE, because they had the same argument. The same argument. Minister Fagon was a deputy spokesman at that time that would hit the government. Oh, you want to play football in UAE? Bam, Bapulu Hospital. Bam, a hospital in Riverside. So those people are serious people. They're not going to make commitment. Are world leaders. They will not make commitment, just like the political leader of the ANC make commitment to spoon and don't follow through. That small ball game they're doing, the ANC, that's not those people that
I feel the need to respond.
Dr. Richardson, you gotta wait. No, Dr. Richardson, you will not do this. Dr. Richardson, you will not do this. You allow Kev to speak. I beg you.
I allow those people.
But we all under 2 minutes. Let's do our thing quietly. Okay. Kev, are you done?
I just want to wrap up, but.
I'm sorry. I thought you were done. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So if folks want to look at commitment, I know I had commitment on the show, never followed through by the folks on the ANC side, but this is not that little thing games they play with the Liberian people. This president don't play games, because the president actually went out to bring something for this country, and something.
We gotta move on to the next one. But again, let me give you
some of those things.
Thank you. Fagon, finish up very quick, and Dr. Richardson will come in to respond to Kev. We gotta move on to the next paragraph. Fagon.
That means supposed to finish all real quick, Gary, by 2 minutes.
You're 2 minutes finished, my man. You were the first that had 2 minutes. So talk to us.
I never had 2 minutes on that subject matter, please. I've never had.
Can somebody please check Fagon on time yet today? Fagon is going all over. Yeah, he spoke. Now he said he never had. So have your 2 minutes.
And the 2 minute goes like this. Start your timer. These are the kind of things that carry the crowd to the field today to receive the president. When you say the president used 2.5 million and you blast him, and he comes back and something different happened. When you say the president will never come to America and meet Joe Biden, and Joe Biden asking him, so was that a free kick? Or how they would do that on a penalty? So what will happen after that? When you say things such as the Americans will never do business with President Weah, and then President Weah comes back to the country and said, Liberian people, listen to this. The Secretary of State of the United States said this, and I'm quoting him. That's what President Weah said. For our great leadership and ability to strengthen U.S. Liberia bonds, unquote. He go on further to say, that he noted, Blinken noted that under my leadership, U.S.-Liberia relations will flourish. That America praising George Weah, that America, the America you talk about. When you do these things, I think it's only appropriate. Sometimes you be kind and nice enough to say it is a commitment, but we wait to see whether the commitment will be followed through. But when you condemn the commitment and the commitment comes true, then you allow people like Kev to say, your 150,000 commitment to COVID, where is it? What happened to the school you say you built that Coca-Cola now claim that they built? What happened to the money you gave for the rally? Somebody ran away with 70,000.
Exactly.
We're never focused on the real issues here. If the president increased the scholarships through his negotiations from by 15 persons to 25, that means only 10 persons was there in Hungary before. He is now doubling the 10 persons plus 5 more. If you say he's made commitment, then you have to follow his track record of getting commitments and whether they've yielded any dividends or benefits, if you like. The Arab people are not like some people we know. I don't want to call names. The Chinese and the Arabs have made commitment to this president and they have followed through on almost every one of them. So for me, as a Liberian citizen, when the Arab men tell you, say, Rabbi, that's it. So I can say what Peabody said with regards to the commitment. He was an excellent politician just now when he tried to say it's a commitment. But what were the conditions? What were the terms? What if these commitments never happen? That was professionally political. But I will say again, it is politically consequential for the opposition to continue to downplay what President Weah is doing. Because if you do that and he comes through the crack, you will be left behind. All of these commitments are left to be seen. But some of them are not commitment. Example, the $10 million to fund. If you say he used 2.5 on 48 days away, I go use 2.5. Tomorrow then I get 10 million. That's not business right there. That's business with profit. I get 15 scholarship. I travel where I travel. The U.S. government was committing $2 million to our elections. And Samuel Twist said it on this platform. But now they are giving 165 million or 66 to 6 countries. So my travel, they gave us that money. Out of 6 persons, I got some there. Let's look at the money they gave for Africa, the 55 billion. Liberia got some there. So I think the idea of downplaying what President Weah is accomplishing is politically deadly for the opposition. Because if it comes true, then you guys will look just like spoilers. All you want to do is condemn, criticize, spoil, destroy. I think we should adopt a new tune. The tune that says, yes, we encourage him. If perhaps you would have stayed on the 48 days away, you will get some profit from there. But if you go to condemn what he has accomplished abroad, and as reported to the Liberian people, then the crowd you saw will be much less than that. Should that continue?
Thank you. Dr. Richardson, real quick before we bring to money.
Yeah, I will take my time, moderator, because other panelists are speaking long. I will take my time to express myself.
But you already speak that. Then you were just trying to respond to Kev. This is not your time.
Dr. Richardson,
Dr. Richardson, it's not your time. So you are asking to respond to Kev. You know, we have to go to Central.
Mr. Fagon just spoke very long here. Yeah, I don't know.
It was Fagon. Hold on 1 minute. It was Fagon gave us time. That's what Richardson.
Let me respond to
because that's all what Fagon said. He cannot respond. That reason why she's smart. She's a smart woman. Please, I beg you, don't post your best on what Fagon said.
Let me just say something about. I want to just re-emphasize here something that Dr. Peabody said. And something that, of course, people are glossing over here. Any other day, they will be, Mr. Fagon, I know he's a student of English. Any other day, he will be taking letter, line by line, and emphasizing and defining the word commitment to the Liberian people. But today he's choosing not to do that. Commitment that breathes.
But Dr. Francine, when Eddie said he was going to marry you,
Liberian people were talking to you. When you have commitment,
that faculty of 70,000.
that Jeff breathes until
that faculty must defend line by line. Who tell 70,000?
Until Kefatang and Temi say he went to Popular Hospital, he touched the dialysis machine, he touched the MR machine. Anything else that anybody else is saying, commitment that Jeff breathes, expected to are all breathes. Okay, let me say. Nobody's here.
So how about Rhetoric Hospital now?
That Fagon, stop interrupting, my man.
I got one more minute added to my time since I was interrupted. so you know, the thing about it is, if we had a president, okay, who had a history of meeting his commitment, then we wouldn't be questioning or feeling so paranoid about this commitment. The president made a commitment, said Liberians will no longer be spectators in their own economy. Where are we today, people? Liberians today are struggling to find their own food. Not only are they only spectators, they are struggling to find food. He came back, he said, I will bring 6,000 Nigerian teachers. What happened? Where are they? He came back, he went. Then he said, I will build coastal highway. What happened? Where are the coastal highway? He came back, then he went. He came back, he said, hey, wife, I think some of the promises are going to bring here a factory. I have not seen any. I've been going to Liberia, but this will be my third time going to Liberia. I don't see it yet. So when we come and sit here and talk about commitment, we all want a better Liberia. But when you have a past history of not meeting your commitment and not explaining the terms of your commitment and your plans and the expectation that were given by other countries to the Liberian people, you don't explain that. You come in first, you may plow with the Liberian people. Then what do you expect us to do? Believe your commitment? No, it's all breeze, free talk, loose talk.
They come and if you let me talk, I'll get
no, Fagon, stop that thing. Fagon, no. Fagon, stop. So, too many, George, I want you to come in. No. Fagon, hold on 1 minute. So, Georgie, come in. Too many, George, come in real quick. Before you come in, too many. Then you came and you start blacking people.
I see the discrimination.
Who are black? I'm black.
You came in here, black people real quick.
Black people, you don't put it on me. I beg you.
Let's get back on track. Let's get back on track, Georgie.
The American government can lie. That's what.
Hold on 1 minute, Fagon. Hold on 1 minute. Too many, Josh. Let's get something straight. Though. Like, I know you guys want to go into the entire speech. Do your thing. Free flow. But the person that wrote this speech, if that's the president, that's good. Whosoever wrote the speech, they laid the things out though. They broke it down for the Liberian people. Paragraph by paragraph. November 2nd through November 5th. This is what I got from Morocco, Tangier, and the other places I visited. Now we'll go to the other country, Egypt. We'll go down the line. But take a peek, Georgie. Talk to Liberians tonight. Was this trip successful?
With 207 days to election, a president seeking re-election and was out of the country for 49 days. You're expecting to come to Liberia with such a heroic, rousing welcome and come and just say nothing to the people? No. Whatever, how you want to spin it or not, the president said he received commitments from these governments, people he met on his trip. And again, for instance, we should be careful now, because if the president, if he's not successful next year, who will become president, they inherit these commitments the president made. So we got to also think about that too. So not because we're having election, you're against, you may be against it, so you say, well, commitments is nothing. He came and said he received commitments from this government. Like we say, we'll look to see what will happen. But because like next year, no serious president next year. Next year, in the campaign trail, you will see people, president may be dedicating projects that was earmarked for this year that they completed. He'll be dedicating projects around the country. That way, he's going to do the campaign trail. And then president who is in the Cuban presidency will do the same thing. But my point is this though. As far as I'm concerned, I'm thinking about his word. He got to see it. But yeah, my thing here too. Nobody want to be a loser. If the people are not convinced that the opposition can defeat here 2023, I can tell you now they will end up joining ship with him. Because what he did today, we are very strategic. He spoke from a prepared text, he put it aside, then he starts speaking, let me go in colloquia. And that's how the Liberian people relates to him. And take it or leave it. The CDC, I give that party credit. They know how to play the game. They prepare for this, the new war going to happen today. They prepared for it long ago. And they came out in the numbers, whether they bought a crowd, whether they did, but the idea, they show up. They show up in the numbers to send a message to not only Liberians, but to the world that look, our leader still popular. The people they still love him. And opposition, there's a message to them that as long as you continue to play like you guys can go in a separate way and think you can win, if you're not careful, I repeat, the man will whip you out the first round because he's very excited. He came back to the country. He attacked the opposition with everything he had. He attacked them. He went after communists, went after Yeke, went after Boyka, went after all of them. He was very powerful and effective in going after them. He went after them. He ripped them apart. And then he went to his party headquarters. He elevated the debate again, and he continued. And election is on. It's on. Because right now, the opposition would have united for a common purpose on an issue. But they are not to say we still together at a press conference where you saw Boyka, comments, and Kevin standing say we're talking about the biometrics. We're talking about the census. Nothing they have done. All they're doing is attacking each other all day. They're attacking each other, all attacking each other. And President, we are use opportunities. I will go through them. Send attacking each other. I will go after. I will rip them apart. That's what's happening. So I tell you, President, he's feeling good today. He's in a happy mood. He feels comfortable that I went for 49 days. Nobody can do me a thing. They say they are thinking they plan to march. They march. They ready did, but I'm back and I'm in full gear. And he went after them. So see what you want to say, but the president, I think he feel that the trip was successful and he came back with something from this country. So, like somebody said, once you watch in the pudding, yeah, it's true. But all I want before for next year. But for right now, for today, so we will tell you that, I mean, you're his supporter, and I'm about to tell you that he keep.
Thank you very much, man. And listen, guys, we are free to flow. Let's make this interesting. I'm going to hold back my thoughts, give it your best shot, president back in the country, what in it for the Liberian people. We'll just ask you, please, even if you want to respond, pause when the next person finishes, you can come in. We're going to do the round table. We're not going to keep it boring tonight. It's good to have you back, Chairman. It's good to see you. Let me go back to Dr. Peabody. Let he give his second thoughts. Then you can come in, Chairman Ben. Dr. Peabody.
Why you ask Ben, how was the test, man?
No, it's not my business. He would tell me that privately.
That tonight the president came who Ben said no test.
Okay. You see, I know you want to throw this job. But Peabody, on a serious note yet though, go for the middle and go to the end. $165 million coming from America. He met Joe Biden. They sat in the Oval Office. They watched the game together. He said he made the case. He talked about every stop along the way, every stop. But something, people talk about commitment. I will come back to commitment. Why do countries make commitment? Is this the first government making commitment to? Well, people just come and say, we will give you $1 billion. Go. No. There must be something to make commitment to. But let's have our own conversation.
Well, obviously, there'll be no reason why President Barker will President Weah will come and don't meet Joe Barker. They are colleagues. They are all president together, and he invited President Weah, and I had no doubt that they were going to meet and go to meet him and stuff like that. How they would have met, I don't know. But again, in terms of the commitment, nobody is denying that the people who committed will not live up to it. But sometimes commitment comes with terms and conditions. And sometimes those terms and conditions are not met. And therefore, they will not give it and stuff like that. So, it's not that, they committed. But, if I would have heard we got a grant, $150 million, I think perfect. That's excellent. And coming home, because I can commit. I've committed to something before and say, you know what, I'm not going to do it again because I just feel that I can't commit no more. I was going to commit and I can't do it no more. If we had a grant from folks that we're going to give you a grant, that instant cash that something that you don't even have to pay back or so. And also in regards, like I said in the opening of my statement, that I made a reference from the Bible where it says there's a time and season for everything, and this is George Weah time. Let me say this because, you had a rally where people say if anybody having problems, if anybody going through hard time, come up. Let's rally here today. Some people came out and some people did not. Today we saw a large group of people turning out. So again, people are unmoved by dire suffering. They're unmoved by corruption. They're unmoved by death. And this is the president's season. To see who show up, whether they pay the people or they didn't pay them, whatever they did. But that man that show up today, it sends a message. It sends a message. At the end of the day, we will have this discussion. We'll have who had the crowd, who did not have the crowd. At the end of the day, the decision will be made by the Liberian people on who they want to be the next president in 2023. That decision lies within the hand of the Liberian people. Chairman Center, I have the floor. Go ahead now.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good to see you guys. Fagon, he took a shot and then he went offline. Fagon, it's good to see you and it's good to be here. The course is coming along very well. I'm excited. I'm not gonna make any public statements about it until I'm not gonna jinx myself, but I'm excited. I'm excited about 2023 personally and everything, and I'm excited about what I see shipping up when it comes to the politics in Liberia. Having said that, I do want to say that one of the things that I always say, and I've said on this platform, is that success is the only child who is not an orphan. Failure is the one that's an orphan. Nobody wants to be associated with failure. What I saw today, and I watched in bits and pieces, I got a chance to catch the president's speech after, both at the party headquarters and in the church. What I saw today, I saw vintage George Weah. I saw a candidate, I didn't see President Weah today. I saw a candidate who, from time over and over again, his opponents have underestimated. I saw a man who people claim is the least educated, the one who has the least experience, but has been able to maneuver and dribble all of his opponents. Today, when George Weah was driving, coming to Monrovia, if former Vice President Joe Boyka was on the road, he would have parked on the side of the road for George Weah to pass. Today, if Cummings was on his way to that airport and George Weah convoy was coming, he would have parked on the side of the road. What do I mean by that when I say this? A couple of things happened. The president stayed out of the country for 48 days, 48, 49, whatever the count is. There was a huge uproar in the country, whether it was valid or invalid. But this uproar happened as a result of the amped up rhetoric that was pumped into the country regarding this. We all debated it on this platform. But what I have also come to realize is that this man's opponents never take advantage of the opportunities that they have. And then when he beat them to it, they come and they complain and they whine. And I continue to say this. I will continue, and I will say this. I'm the maverick. I will own that. Whether you want to hear it or not, today was a heck of a good day for George Weah. Spin it all you want to spin it. Anybody who wants to spin it, they can go about spinning it. You saw a president today who was in his element. He, like Tomlin said, he went after his opponents. He took the fight to their doors. He characterized them. He brought them. He took it head on. I saw someone who is ready for a re-election battle. And so this notion, the opposition, we framed George Weah's entire trip. We framed his entire trip to America as George Weah was going to come to Washington and he was going to be treated as a pariah. And I remember I consistently said, there were people who advocated that the people should withdraw the invitation. We did all of that. Something happened something happened on the clear blue sky for George Weah. Timothy Weah scored a goal. Whether that played 90% of the role, it didn't play 90% of the role, but diplomacy and politics also came into play. The president of the free world is managed. If the United States government did not want George Weah to reach a 10-foot pole next to Joe Biden, he would not have come a 10-foot pole next to Joe Biden. When George Weah got up and took his phone out of his pocket and decided that he was going to, he said it today in the speech, I'm sure you guys listened to it, that he took his phone out of the pocket and said, Your Excellency, can I take a picture with you? These things are planned. All I'm saying though, exactly this picture, even these sitting arrangements were planned. These things don't just happen because they want to happen. So I will repeat what I said. Whether we want to spin it or we don't want to spin it, I saw a president today who is ready for re-election, who has said that he would take the fight to his opponents. And this notion, and I hear my colleagues here talking about whether it's commitment or tangibles and stuff like that. Let me state this. When presidents travel, when they come back with commitments. They don't come back with money in their suitcases. Now, I agree with what Dr. Peabody said when he said, well, there are some justifications, there are some terms and there are some different things that will happen. But guess what? When you are having a populist election, when you're having an election where you are throwing out a rhetoric, it sticks. Y'all say I spent 1.5 million, I came back with 150 million. Go argue with the person that's sitting in West Point hearing that he came back with 150 million. They're not concerned about that. That is retail politics. So I will stop here, but I will repeat what I said. Whether we like it or not, today was a heck of a day for George Weah. And you could see it in him. You could hear it in his voice.
Let me pause you because you've been away for so long. And I want to give you a few more seconds. It is important for us to do this today. Then, the president left Liberia on the 1st or the 31st. He just got back home. Mm-hmm. Imagine. Oppositions decided to say we would do it with tire suffering. They know President George Weah was coming back home today. We will do this with tire suffering. We will call the crowd. We'll make a statement to embarrass this president. First of all, Ben, let me hear from you because you never spoke on this. Mm-hmm. What are you, when they gather on the street, when they call for that massive rally, but we saw the Liberian National Police feeding people. Less than 3,000, some people say 2,005. Prior to that, 70,000 went MIA. Folks fighting within the opposition. ANC blaming UP, say that you mess our rally up. You hear Koruba blaming Waterspoon on stage, say that you mess my rally up. To be very serious, I want you to talk to Liberian tonight. Let me give you your time because you asked for it. What you saw on the 17th, was that your expectation? Something to card black this, what we saw today. Say, President, where you saw, we like the street, we like everything down. you are defeated. But instead, the president just ran on those bad images. Ben, talk to us tonight and make Liberians understand. As it went, they went down through this path.
So I would say this: the issue of a couple of mistakes happened as a result of the rally. The announcement that $70,000 or 20,000 or 5,000 or whatever thousand got missing. I thought it was poor strategy to do that. If it had leaked out, no comment. Wait until after the rally. No comment. If you get a news person come stand in front of you, if Ben Senvi was part of the organization of the rally, you can say in front of me, oh, Mr. Senvi, we just heard that there's some news that somebody stole $70,000 from the rally. I have no comment on that issue. I'm focused on getting our people out in the streets, right? A couple of things, messaging. The issue of, I heard people say, there were some people who said, oh, because people wore Cummings t-shirt, so we couldn't go to the rally. Hey, heck, go to the rally and wear Barker t-shirt. You still part of the opposition. Go, wear Barker t-shirt. In fact, it will even show unity. It will show that, you know what, on this issue, since this is not about Cummings, on this issue, we say we all tired suffering. But let me tell you, one of the contradictions that I saw is that less than 72 or 73 hours, right, after a rally that was purported to say we are tired suffering, and the reason we are suffering is because of this man, 72 hours down the line, you see thousands of people go welcome. The same
people that said they were suffering.
That's supposed to be making us suffer. Look, let me say this. If you go into war, Stanton, I've said this and I will say this publicly. I've said this to a lot of my friends in the opposition. If you're going to war, and when I speak, sometimes I speak the way I speak is because I'm a student of history. I've seen this movie. In 2017, a lot of right things were on the world. But guess what? There is a tendency sometimes when you're in a political campaign where you create your own reality. You get comfortable in your skin and you create your own reality. You are in the euphoria. So you want to believe what you want to believe. I keep saying this. If you're going to fight a war, and I think Fagon will agree with me on this, one of the first things that you need to figure out, that's why you have strategy sessions before you go to war. You got to know the battlefield you are going on. You got to figure out what the ambushes will be set. That's why you can just go on a straight road and just drive through enemy territory because your car may be blown up. You are going into an election. You have to understand the mindset of your voters. You got to understand what makes them tick. What message you have to send to them. Look at the video. You know how powerful that video was? There's a video of a woman who, and I wasn't on the show the other day, and I think you guys played it, who was wearing the Cummings t-shirt and ended up saying, you know what, let me tell you what in my heart. That was a powerful image. The reason it was powerful is not because she said, I'm not suffering. But somewhere here, the message is not connecting and it's not jiving. And for you to see 72 hours later, for you to see George Weah, who is supposed to be the one suffering the country, mount a podium.
Thank you.
And pump his fist and point his finger in your eye and say, you know what? If he said it today, he said, I'm not even going to debate y'all. He said, I'm not even going to debate y'all. This...
let me bring it Fagon. Let me bring it Fagon.
That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Ben. Minister Fagon. I've read the president's speech, his statement, his remark today. It got a lot of substance. You can call it commitment if you like. It's up to you. But like we all say, it will come from commitment to deliverables. Some people committed and you have not seen it. But Fagon, well, where are we then? Is this the start of the election campaign? See this, CPP came up with their own December 17th. We saw what happened. George Martin Weah Every day we say, well, the sycamore tree is empty. You know the sycamore tree. You've been there. You planted the sycamore tree. We say it's empty. But now, yeah, we look at all the folks welcoming President we are. Forget about what he brought back now. We know it's in the speech. We're going to share it. But talk to me now, the resetting of opposition. Where are they, Fagon?
Thank you very much. Your question is precise. Where are they? Meaning you're looking for a place. They're disorganized, they're dysfunctional, and they're becoming a relic of the past. And the reason why I say so, every time, okay, you see, Dr. Francine, the reason why I said she's learning, she's actually learning. Give it to her. But you have surrogates in politics. And when the smart people sit in a chair and you say commitment, for example, Dr. Peabody put it right. But Dr. Francine said it's breeze. No. When the president travels, the only thing he brings back is commitment. You know why? Stanton, you can say, I will give you 50 million. But the modalities for the 50 million, the terms and conditions, the time frame and everything has to be worked out. So I get the commitment from you. I come back to the country. I dispatch my team. They meet with your technical team. They draw up everything. And then we get the commitment done. I'm talking about government. I'm talking about a person who served in government. Ben served in government, even though he was very young and a federal chancellor at the time. But it's still, we all were in government. You go, no president go. It's like you passing through Burlington. And I meet Stanton. I said, man, Stanton, my country is not easy. I'm really looking for one or two things. Then he said, for you, that's the case. I will commit something and let Terry G to you, send your people that will work out. That is a commitment for Stanton. But I cannot sign an agreement. That's not what I went there for. I'm only passing through. Now, when you talk about expectation, here is it. And I'm quoting from the speech directly. The U.S. government, in response, committed to spending 165 million United States dollars next year on providing financial support to elections in our respective countries. He's talking about the 6 people, right? Listen to this now. In our respective countries next year, of which Liberia is expected to receive approximately, if you divide 165 million by the 6 countries, how much you think Liberia will get? That's why he said it's for the 6 countries. And you and I read it. So you want to say the American people lie? ANC people now start attacking American people now? To say American people can lie? American people can lie. They're giving the 165.
Stop the propaganda. Mr. Fagon, stop the propaganda.
Okay, so you see, I'm quoting him. He said Liberia.
Well, hold on a minute, Fagon, hold on. I will pause you there. Let me do this real quick. Yeah. It is true. The Americans have committed 165 million to 6 countries going for elections. Is that wrong, Dr. Richardson? Isn't it true?
Expected. And you know what?
Expected. No, wait 1 minute, Fagon. Wait 1 minute. Expected for what? Sure, go on session. Expected for what?
Expected because the American had a summit, okay? And on that summit, they talk about the rule of law, they talk about democratic principle, they talk about respecting human rights. They are going to monitor us. And if we do the things that we are expected to do, then they are likely to give us that money.
No, Fagon, stop. Get a woman chair.
Until that time, they use the word expected, they use the word commitment, and I stand by those words until we get something tangible in the country. If I call you misinterpreted me, let me hold on, please. I beg you.
Dr. Richardson, you making me lose my.
You're killing my father. I'm killing your own too now. You see, you forgot a major part of my. This is my Fagon. You forgot a major part of my comment. And a major part of my comment is that the reason why Liberian people are jittery when they hear the words expect and commitment, because we have been given a lot of commitment without anything tangible. When a president stands before a country and says, I went to Nigeria and Nigeria will commit 6,000 teachers, and we never saw that. When a president stand before Liberians and say, you will no longer, I'm elected now, I'm the chief in town, you will no longer be a spectator in your own economy. And we see today, Liberians are suffering for rice, our basic food. Okay? So Liberians are generally want to hear the word expected, commitment, plan to. We know the diplomatic channels and stuff like that.
So that's a Richard said, Becky. Can I come in?
Also get general when you hear the
Now
word.
me was talking, or if you take my time or give it back to me. I'm just
hold on back.
The Liberians always get jittery.
Please give it back to me when you
Liberians also get jittery when they hear things. Oh, my trip was paid for by my friends. What kind of? Let me just say it.
Yeah, but Dr. Richardson, hold on, I beg you, guys. We got to reset. Dr. Richardson.
I'm not going to celebrate, expectations.
Okay, we agree. Dr. Richardson, don't do it. But let's come in now, guys. What is written on the wall? America, the commitment from President Joe Biden to give $165 million. He called 6 presidents that are going for election. 6. And we'll do that thing, we'll make it so fine and easy. You can play the politics because, some honor, let them try to just jump the gun a little bit. 6. The only person I can name here, 2 of them, George Biden, we are, my beautiful Sarah Lou. Can somebody name the rest? Oh, I see Nigeria President Buhari.
Felix Shikikedi.
So let me say, this is not the picture of the 6 of them.
That's the picture of the 6 of them.
No, because there's Lazarus Chakwera from what's his name? Malawi here.
The Moroccan Foreign Minister.
This was a select group that they put together for them to watch.
You are quite correct. You are quite correct.
The 6 of them are the one in the cabinet room.
Yeah.
But you let me name the 6 people for you.
No. Forgot. It's a good way that Ben brought this. It's the other picture. You're right. But let me say this real quick now.
I want to name the 6 people.
6 of them, they committed $165 million.
Yes.
Go up, you come down, they committed $165 million. If America want to be fair, they say let's divide it by 6. That's $27.5 million each.
Thank you. That's why he said
Richard, let me finish. I beg you, Mama. I beg you, please. If America say we are so fair and transparent, we make our commitment to these 6 countries. Each country will get $27.5 million. Say what you want to say. Good governance, corruption, say anything. Listen, every commitment has a string attached, right, Ben? Something will be attached on every commitment. But we are not there yet. What we are saying, they make commitment to 6 countries that are going for election. Was the president in error when he said that we would get a piece of the pie of that $165 million? Fagon, was he in error?
Well, Fagon, can I see 30 seconds of yours? Okay, go ahead, Chairman.
No,
you
just coming back from doing your
you just coming, Chairman. Want to bring you just coming. You better wait.
I'm feeling
from 6 months, and you just coming back.
I'm feeling the love. Oh my God!
Yeah. You better wait for 6 months. You just coming back.
30 seconds. The other 30 seconds.
But let me say this. And let's call a spade a spade. Liberia is going to get a portion of that money. It is imperative that we get it. Why? Because it is tied to us having democratic elections. So this is not about what.
No. Look. Can you look at that? Don't look at me. Look at Dr. Richardson. You looking at me. I know we own.
No, I see Dr. Richardson.
Can you tell her, please?
No, but are you listening to what Ben said? Tied to a free and fair election.
No, yes, that's my point. My point is that what I'm saying is they understand the need that we must have free and fair democratic elections. That's
why we understand that need based on the way they're doing.
Well, listen, whether we want to spin it or not, whether we want to make it about politics or we want to make it about opposition versus opposition, there was a reason why George Weah was included in that batch. There was a reason. The U.S. government believes that in order to strengthen our democratic credential, we must have free and fair democratic elections.
I believe out of that meeting, commitments were pulled out of each of those leaders on doing certain things leading to guarantee free and fair elections.
Thank you for that clarity. Thank you for that clarity. But the mean what we are saying before I go to give me a 30 second, I won't bring Peabody and Thomas and Josh and Kev in the conversation. Fagon, let's call spade a spade, man. Let's stop the BS. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. The men committed 165 million to 6 countries and say, listen, we want you guys to have a very clean election. And among the 6 countries, Liberia was included. So what else you want to say? Stop. Listen, the commitment is American commitment. Then I have somebody say, I'll give him 150,000 for COVID and you see it. But sorry, Kev. I'm sorry, I took your line.
That's a cheap shot.
Go ahead, Fagon. That's not like Kev. No. Kev, leave me alone, man, Kev. Leave me alone. No, like Kev.
I see why Kev, you're relaxed today.
No, leave me alone, Kev. Fagon, go ahead, please.
You see, the ANC people saying...
Thank you for missing you. That's why you relax.
The ANC people saying, I went to Washington, I met all the people. On my trip, I only met 2 persons, Tomali and my man Peabody. So if you got how the people 70,000 and you're free me or hanging out with you for almost a week. It's sad, you know. I did not see anybody in Washington. I didn't meet anybody in Washington, nothing of that nature. But should be said, you spending $250,000 on a rally. You trying to rent Sir Joseph buses. And you know he from your opponent's side. So he decided he will not rent the buses to you, that your own sabotage. The bus they call Killer Bean are these yellow school buses. Okay, Stanton? These school buses, the used one is sold for $5,000. That's why sometimes I say Cummins get money. All your money. 30 of those buses is $150,000. Why you couldn't find buses? But what am I saying here? The question you ask. The money is expected. The American people say I gave you $165 million for elections. They made it clear what the money was for. And the reason why, President, we are saying 20 some countries are big and Liberia are very small when you look at the countries there. I think I sent it to you, CEO. The countries are bigger than our own. That only us and the other people right down there we small. So again, 20 million compared to 2.5 million spent on the trip. Was it worth it? Are the Americans people looking like they know that they can lie? They can't lie. They said they'll get on you, they'll get on you. But again, it speaks to the kind of opposition we have. They got no strategists. They got no surrogates. They got no plan of action. They are not united. They are dysfunctional. They're disorganized. And as long as they continue to serve in that capacity, the Liberian people, look, trust me, the Liberian people cannot look at power now and get to Cummins fighting Bwaka. Bwaka won't put Cummins in court. Pelete carried the whole party document to Cummins and left the partisans with Nyombli and Delon. There is no way the Liberian people can gamble the peace they fought for, the developments they've made so far, and where they are right now. Because when you look at what comes out, like Tumale said, the president came back, he spoke from a prepared text, and just like we said on this platform, he reported back to the Liberian people. He did it from the church. When he came outside, all reliable sources, again I repeat, Kev, all reliable sources say one prophet say he finished with the church now, and they gave him one small root battle. He cut shot the prophet said deal with him. That's how he decided to go to the party headquarters. What did he do? He threw jabs at the opposition today, Ben, like never seen before. He nailed all of them one by one. And at the end of the day, his message resonated with the people. And the next cry you see from George Weah will be different. And that's why I said, and I will conclude by saying, can we only path to the presidency is through Joseph Bwaka. Anything short of that, all the way up to 2029.
Thank you. We are going to run through the videos, the clips from President Weah. when
can we also state that the U.S. money is not coming directly to the Liberian government? All that will be through USAID.
Can we also state?
Okay.
All
right.
so
let's go ahead. Sorry, that wrong video.
I was trying to say something. You just cut me off, but that's okay. That's the nature of the show.
Sure.
Dr. Richardson, go ahead.
What happened to Dr. Richardson?
I get potato greens.
Because I mean, she's just feisty tonight.
All you guys.
I just see her snapping.
Let me say this. And I done everything possible. And thank God for Kev today. He's in his best behavior. You know why? Because we have to protect our sister, Dr. Richardson. And I'm going to leave it like that. And we'll do everything possible to give her enough time to make her case. She has to make her case. It's a very tough one. When you have your party members stealing their own money, it's a very tough one to make. When you call for a rally and say, well, opposition rally, but that rally projected Mr. Cummings, it's a very tough case to make. When you have done everything plus more, and yet instead there is no light at the tunnel, it's a very tough case to make. So we'll do everything possible to protect our sister. Let's go ahead.
And thank you for the protection. And
we want to play the video, Dr. Richardson.
Oh, you're not protecting me? I thought y'all gonna let me talk.
No, I'm talking about after the video. After the video. This is important though. Somebody, I want to bring you in. Who President where we're talking to?
I was about to say something.
I beg you that Richardson will come to you. Since George, who President where we're talking to? You build your house in America, your wife and children, then you kind of say we tired.
Well, you know, it's no secret. He was referring to his opponents, especially I think the ANC leader, Mr. Cummings. He's anyone who have a strong base in the USA. He was definitely referring to them. But like I said earlier, though, I mean, anybody want to spin, he can spin. But President he came up today to speak the language his base understands, and the average Liberian understands. He spoke, and the last time I said, coming with president, he had a bullshit with the president. Somebody took out of context, and I ran away with my statement out of context. But the election. You cannot be. You're not always saying to go before they put on the pulpit and sit down and say, "Well, man, we are one-time president. We send him back." You gotta be forceful. You gotta like you put the paper aside and speak to the language the Liberian people understand. Because right now, and I'll continue to say this, President, he spoke today because opposition are now united. They are fighting each other. They are not coming together to hold a joint press conference. You see in other countries. Therefore, issue about biometrics, you have seen the chairman come together and issue a statement. No, they're fighting each other all day. Then they extend it to social media. They're attacking each other one. And these are people that say they will win election in the kind of attitude. And this man is keeping his base together and putting his base together. Look, citizens in opposition. The lawmakers were more effective than the one in opposition personally. See, lawmakers in opposition were very effective. They were vocal. They blasted. They gave President Salif hard time. They were very outspoken. But now I won't get to that.
Let's play the video. Yeah. Let's play the video. Someone in George. When he told, then we'll go to Dr. Richardson. Yeah. I know she got something to say. When he attacked Cummings on his security. Let's play this.
But why are they getting around to the protest? How do people say no sense of protest because if you take time, to a protest and citizens can say, why are they getting around to the protest? Why Mr. Cummings were
valid point. No, seriously. No. Seriously. Well, no. Tomorrow, hold on.
On this.
Tomorrow you will end. Hold on 1 minute, my brother.
Why you can't say that straight? You right? You got your right
No. What happened here is that Mr. Cummings will speak on every other point when it comes to this government.
Even mosquito body, man.
Mosquito boil somebody, Mr. Cummings will speak. We have not heard Mr. Cummings speaking when his 70,000 went MIA and when his own personal security for the past 7 years that assigned to him, been carrying arm. For the past 7 years up to present December 17, 2022, Mr. Cummings have said nothing. It have passed 72 hours, 48 hours. You tell me. Why have Mr. Cummings not? Why? Man, nobody must say nothing else now. Come on and finish up here. But the president, I will play this again. He asked a very, very good question. Where is Mr. Cummings? Is he hiding something? Why is he not speaking?
No, okay.
No. Let me play this again. I'll come to you. Let me go to Kev Hassan. Kev Hassan, why Mr. Cummings not speaking?
No. I'm
the moderator. Kev Hassan, I beg you back. I beg you back. Go to the back. I beg you back. No, Dr. Sister Richardson will come to you. Kev.
The show going good. Nobody don't come in.
I know the show going good. I beg you. Let's put something in it.
No, but let me finish my thought now.
Crewman fire, crewman back.
I beg you. Honorable Kev Hassan, seriously speaking, people can get vexed today, right? What tipped me off right now, Cummings will speak on everything. Why is he not speaking today?
But why are they taking time to the protest? People say no sense of protest because if you take time, quiet time, to protest and citizens and say, why are they taking time to the protest? Why Mr. Cummings will allow his people to take a quiet time behind him and let people? Why? Why are you doing this speech today? When I travel in this speech, when I go to this speech, today is one of the best speech that is started. Put a fire on for protest.
This guy can talk.
Yeah, but
who said John Ware can talk?
So
he is no. Kev coming.
Man, what did Kev come in?
Kev come in. No, my man. Kev been quiet all day. That can't speak.
I hope I'll be given an opportunity to speak.
That's how deceptive Mr. Cummings is. Dodgy. This is not the first time he's security. Mr. Cummings' security sodomized a 16 years old. He refused to speak.
Where you saw Cummings security sodomized?
But let the brother speak. He's protected. Let the brother speak.
Cummings security is sodomized nobody. Why Kev talking?
Yeah, but let the brother speak.
His security sodomized a 16-year-old.
Who? When?
He was
arrested. Moderating, man.
They had a thing for long, right?
He was
arrested.
Still know why
Yeah, Ben, let Kev speak. Kev, don't get distracted. Speak. I beg you.
He was arrested. The gentleman was arrested. He was on the platform. We showed it.
Kev, why the men are speaking now with the gun business?
Because of how Mr. Cummings is a very dodgy and deceptive human being. He's not a very straightforward guy. I keep saying this thing over and over and over again. They talk about people, the ANC people around, talking about Mr. Cummings own this, Mr. Cummings own this. Now, one day, Mr. Cummings ever come out and say, "Oh no, you don't say I own this." The school, the complex he live in, nothing at all.
I want Librarian to hear this. I want Librarian to understand this from the president himself. And he asked him a very beautiful question. Your security been carrying gun for 7 years. Your security been close to you. Gone. Everybody started going on the man's side.
You could see it. You could see the weapon.
We got it. Everybody started going. So I beg you guys. Guys, I beg you. I think this is it.
They ain't waiting on us.
You hear me, baby?
So everybody for 7
It's
years, if my math
2016.
is correct, for 6-7 years, no one in CPP ANC knew that that gentleman was carrying gun.
Mr. Cummings know that.
Today, Mr. Cummings refused to speak to the Liberian people as to why his personal top-notch security carry gun. Yeah, let's hear from Dr. Peabody. Go ahead. Let's hear from Dr. Peabody, then we'll come to Dr. Richardson and Chairman Ben. Dr. Peabody, please.
Well, let me say this. I think there is a procedure when people are arrested, there is an investigation, and sometimes for other reasons, people will not speak towards that based on the ongoing investigation. I think what we need to note here is that this is election season coming up in a few months, and the president came back. He was throwing jab. I don't want to get into the middle of that. Why Mr. Cummings haven't done this for 7 years?
Better Peabody, you're reverend, you're pastor, you're not being fair.
It doesn't matter. That's my opinion. It
Comments
doesn't have to do
that call
anything
for
with my
immediate
religion.
dismissal,
Let me be
removal,
realistic here. I'm not going to be professional
this
with
is the
anybody.
same comments. This
realistic.
is the same comments that have called for immediate dismissal, removal, imprisonment of Nathaniel Fallow McGill, of Bill Trawe, and Serena Cephas. Upon
the crime committed there by
upon the announcement that they are placed on sanction, this is the same Mr. Cummings with immediate effect. They should be removed without investigation.
Well, I am not going to personalize
because you were on the show, Dr. Peabody, that you called for it, supporting the comment of Mr. Cummings. But now, if it is Mr. Cummings,
I think you fabricating.
We gotta wait for the investigation because the investigation.
It's just fair enough.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Somebody was arrested, so it's just fair enough. I'm not going to sit there and fabricate a soul. Somebody was arrested. There's an investigation, and Mr. Cummings has his time to speak about it. I'm not here to say why.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Chinwe. Richardson.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to tell you guys thank you so much for protecting me on this show. God knows that being the only female on this show is not quite easy. As I sit here among some of you who call yourself historians, politicians, and propagandists, and all of that stuff. So thank you, moderator, for protecting me, and I hope I'm afforded the opportunity to speak. For the amount of time that I would like
so that the operator, the moderator, the good man now ain't see you. He will come out for you.
Yeah, I'm just here as a female on the show. You know that, right?
But you praise it, man. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. That Ben was
oh yeah, thank you. And I also want to tell you guys, thank you very much for the ongoing publicity of Mr. Cummings. We can never have a show without talking about him. I expected us to be talking about the president returning to the country and analyzing how his dividends will be beneficial to Liberia. But here we are. We are speaking about Mr. Cummings, which is okay. Thank you for the publicity. But, I also, when the president mounted the podium today and asked, why are they carrying arms to the protest? And I said to myself, how off is this president? I expected him to be asking, why are no rights in the country? What can I do about it? I expected him to be asking, what happened to the $11 million that was allotted in the budget? What happened to the investigation or the different persons that money went to? I didn't hear him say that. I expect him to be asking when he sat in his convoy and rode from the airport on that horrible, horrible, terrible RIA highway to wherever he went to the church, which is interesting that he did that, but we'll save that for another day. I expected him to be looking around and say, my golly, Liberian people are living in this condition after we budgeted $160 million for this road and it's just stalled. People have died on it. He never said anything about that. He was away when we did the census in our country, the census. I expected him to say, Madam VP, I'm back. I understand we had some trouble after I made my proclamation for the census to begin, but I saw we had trouble. So Liberians, this is where we are. He never said that. He was throwing jabs at the opposition. He was throwing jabs. Is jab going to bring rice for that Liberian woman or that child who's not eating tonight? No. And so I want us to sit here and have some serious conversation about the development of our country, as opposed to having a conversation about how the president mounted the podium, how he stood up, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm here for that tonight. Let's have some serious conversation about our president and our country.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson.
Go ahead.
Oh shit, it's my battery dying. I need to connect it.
Go ahead, Chairman.
Yeah. I need to get my charger. But let me say this. Obviously, the president was throwing shots at his political opponents today, and you expect him to when the situation presents itself, right? The issue with the arms. The issue with the arm with Mr. Cummings' security, well, like Peabody said, is being investigated. And I mean, so what is Mr. Cummings? What is he going to say about it? He's not going to come and say, "Well, yeah, my security person had arms," right? It is not the publicity that I think Mr. Cummings wanted after the rally. So the president is taking advantage of an opportunity that was presented to him by his opponents. That's just what's happening. We are in the political season. We're in the political season. President has decided that he will take shots. The next time we hear from Mr. Cummings, I'm sure he too will take his shots. The only thing I want to say, though, is as they go about doing this, it is incumbent upon the opposition to reframe the discussion and the narrative back to the issues that matters of the day. There are important things that they have the right, but unfortunately, a lot of the side attractions have taken the center stage. I mean, you don't expect the sitting government to highlight their flaws. You don't expect the sitting government to highlight their flaws. What you expect is a cohesive opposition to come out there and to be able to hold the government's feet, to the fire. That's the point that I want to make. Because at the end of the day, the issue of that gun and the security officer clearly is a talking point for the president. You know the president is going to talk about it. That's why when you're in opposition, you have to make sure all your T's are crossed and all your I's are dotted. You have to make sure you don't give your opponent any chance. But just in case, if it does happen, you pivot and you find a way to be able to reframe the discussion so that you put the government back on the defensive. But clearly, that's not what's happening right now, because we find more sniping internally within the opposition than you find them doing it cohesively to be able to go about holding the government feet to the fire. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Fago.
Well, maybe I think CEO in the next 2 days, I might leave this platform because I don't want to be seen as working for President Weah, because that's what the opposition is doing to me. They're forcing me to appear as though as I'm working for the government or President Weah re-election.
They're winning us.
James, go ahead, Fago.
And the reason why I say so, if all of you have your computers with you, just type in exactly the way I say it. Go to Google and say Cummings security sodomize, SODOMIZE, boy. All the different newspapers in the country carry that story. And then Cummings accused the police of ethical breach. Just as I told you to type it into Google, you will see all the newspapers that carry it. He accused the police of ethical breach, meaning the boy told you he worked in my compound as a security. Why y'all didn't ask me? Why they must ask you committed a crime? The man who committed a crime confessed to his crime. He said, that's where I work. Then Cummings' office came back and said that the boy was a subcontractor to the security firm in his yard. So all of you can go and type that in. The point I'm trying to make is this. The reason why you saw the president angry was the president said, Kumi said, if that was me, I would have fired him without giving McGill them a second thought at justice or a chance to be heard. But it turns out 70,000 got missing for him. He got yet to suspend.
Not one.
He got yet to suspend. The sodomizing thing. He didn't say a word. I could get you a whole list of why people get angry with Kumis. Kumis is very simple. Now, your security. Ain't you saw the video? Ain't you saw the gun on the man's side? He's been your bodyguard for 7 years. If you are a man of the rule of law, your bodyguard was illegally in possession of a firearm that belongs to the NSA, mark NSA 020. What have you said, Kumis? Have you said that illegally carrying a firearm is not in our best interest? But again, has he spoken to it? No. Has he spoken to the 70,000? No. Has he spoken to any other thing? But when he's president, we are fire those people. They are criminals. He's writing this. He's doing this. So the job that we are, president, we are true to him today, was to point out, Kev said deception. The word, Kev, is right in the context in which you use it. But to be honest with you, was trying to show that Kumis talk on both sides of his mouth. The face that Kumis is coming with is not the face the Liberian people should look at. They should look behind the man where 2 legs good, 4 legs bad. If it's George Weah, it's bad. If one of his people sodomize a boy, it's okay. If the people still remember now, according to him, Stanton, McGill was the chief of staff in the office of the president, according to him. So the president should not have wasted time. What about Martin Kola and the other people who have the 70,000?
And Louis Brown.
And Louis Brown. Who are they in his offices? Is he not supposed to suspend them pending the outcome of an investigation?
Well, you know what? Let me say this.
According to what he preaches?
Fagon, we can laugh, we can joke.
70,000 gone.
Fagon, we can laugh.
I don't want to lose my track on my last part.
Make your last point, because we want to nail this.
My last point is, I expect the president to come back and tell us what rights he will give the people. Divide 70,000, Dr. Francine, by $17.50. The 70,000 I got missing from Kumis could have fed 4,000 family heads.
Good try, Fagon.
Wait. Don't cut me off. I know you will say that I Kumi pays there to feed the people because of what you can say.
That's right.
Exactly. But you know what? His 70,000 gone that nobody can see it. But that Christmas are coming.
Dr. Richardson, hold on now. Dr. Richardson, hold on.
Yes, serious, Mr. Fagon.
Dr. Richardson, hold on. Dr. Richardson.
Serious, okay?
Dr. Richardson, hold on now. Hold on. If I'm going to finish your point, we got to go, brother.
This Christmas are coming. Please send ANC TV to the president's house. He will give out about 10,000 bags of rice.
Of course, he got the cover. Just how he got paid crowd coming to see
Dr. Richardson, Dr. Richardson, let's stop interrupting now.
Maybe I can enjoy because she's protected. She ate a potato green. So you didn't stand until you call in the forehead now. It's okay. But listen, you had 250,000 United States dollars. I'm closing now, Stanton. She took some of my time, but I'm closing. I won't be more than 30 seconds. You had 250,000 United States dollars to spend on a rally. No doubt in the minds of the Liberian people. But you could not give poor people loan. You could not buy 4,000 bags of rice. You could not look at student school fees and pay it. You could not buy 30 buses. You are trying to hold this president to a standard that when he tries to hold you back, then my good friend Peabody and Dr. Francine see it like it's personal and it's bullying. But if you were to turn the table around,
constitutional.
If you were to turn the table around, you know what I would say? We are as the president. We are as the president. I want to say to all of you tonight.
Yeah.
Cummings is the candidate. We are is the president. So we hold both of them to the same standards. You know why?
Sunday.
Because government job are government job. But when you say the president, when I eat potato green, like Dr. Francine, you yourself, when I eat potato green, you eat it, he will eat it.
Let me bring you some tomatoes, George. Thank you, Georgie. Let's try to wrap this thing up, and everybody will start. We're going to do our closing pretty soon. This is very interesting, though. If you go through the president videos, he has a very, very decent, brilliant question. But for me, I don't think this president was kidding. I think he's serious. Every step of the way, Cummings and his folks point him out. Investigation. If it's not enough, we're taking you to Washington, D.C. Every step of the way. So let the Liberian people hear tonight. What have Cummings said about the 70,000? As a good leader, who do you suspend pending investigation? Why you say keeping those guys? The allegation that they took your money and they stay around you. 1, 2. What's going on with the security of the gun? But before I bring you in, let's hear what the president also say to this lawmaker. I beg you. Did he just call Cummings a short guy? Too many.
No.
Too many, George.
Oh, Tommy, sorry.
This politics.
Exactly.
That's the power of having the bully puppet. That's the power of one of the advantage of being the president. You have the bully puppet.
But you heard the folks cheering. Too many. They clapping
on you.
So is the president taking a dig at short people? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, all the putting up we actually on sedition. Was you gonna be there? No. So
why so many things?
This is getting to be very, very serious. No, it's his internet. His internet been off for the past 2 weeks. I don't know. This is getting to be very concerning.
Somebody messing with my team, man. No, because I know very well that I'm my internet back.
Clean it.
Your internet.
Somebody messing with it. Somebody messing with it.
Let him mess me. Let me put my 2 hands up. I'm messing with everything.
But can I say something when Tommy finished?
We can't understand too much. Chairman, come on.
Let me say this.
But I was saying.
Go ahead, Tommy.
But yeah. The president using his puppet. He his element. He's speaking. He went on and he said all kinds of things. He threw all the jabs at those who wanted to throw jabs at. And how you do it in politics? You do it your gutter. And the president gave the opposition a rule like a cue today. This election are coming, you guys better come strong too, because I will talk the language that people understand, talk on too much paper business, I will flow and I will attack you. So it's left for them now to understand. And I will say again, this opposition unity is important. If they can't say, look, what is saw today, and say, we will come together and have a meeting, even if you will go separate ways, your form of pact or non-aggression pact, say, look, we're not attack each other anymore, we'll take issue, and we'll take whoever goes second round will support that person. But if continue in this trend, they can forget it. I can tell them that we will whip them.
So let me say this. Let me come in. First of all, I'm hearing that Yeke Koluba will be responding to the president tomorrow. But let me say this. Like Tommy said, it's the bully pulpit of the presidency, right? It's the bully pulpit of the presidency. But it's also important to note that the way the president sounded today, it resonates with I can say maybe 80% of Liberians. That's how 80% of our people, probably 80 to 90% of our people talk. He was in his element today. He was speaking to his base. He was throwing out red meat. This is what happened in political campaign. You saw Trump do it in this country. If you have to bully your opponent out of the process, you bully them out of the process. And what I think is happening here is, and like I said, I'm sure we probably will hear back from Mr. Cummings. I'm pretty sure we will hear from him. The only thing I would say, though, is as it gets interesting, it is going to get dirty. It is going to get dirty. President Weah is fighting for his second term. Mr. Cummings and the rest of the opposition politicians want they want to make President Weah a one-term president. But when you saw him in his element today, he was, and I think somebody said it from the beginning of the show, that he read from a prepared text. You could see how, and that's something that I think that I can look at the CDC people and the government people and say, you're doing this service to this president. Because George Weah comes out of his element. You saw how uncomfortable he was when he was reading that paper. He was just like, let me brief you with him. They're not giving me the paper. Let me talk what they want me to talk. When he put that paper down, you saw him by the time he took away the glasses. And again, he was feeding red meat. He was firing up his base because the campaign started today. George Weah knew he had to come hot or he was going to get it hot tomorrow. He knew he had to come hot today for that. Or he was.
At the end of the day, Chairman, I beg you, we're going to all do our closing. Let me start with you. The position the opposition found themselves in, right? Can they come back? If I can they come back now, Chairman? Let's close on this little note. We hear everything the president said. Great crowd, beautiful welcome, good for the president, a beautiful day for President George Weah today. You have Mr. Cummings still looking for VP. Mm-hmm. Joseph Boakai still out there looking. Who was standing by President Weah today? Joel Howard Taylor. Mm-hmm. Sitting in the church, Joel Howard Taylor. You guys are still looking. Cummings cannot go too far. We are hearing today, yesterday, the best option for Cummings right now would be Yombly Kangalores. The best option. If not Yombly, Cummings is done. Because he has said Cummings, he's not making the case. I will ask the question I asked Honorable Fago. Where is Mr. Cummings in all of this? No, I said the question I asked Mr. Fago.
Okay, sorry.
Where is Cummings in all of this? A field rally, your voice is not catching, resources being spent, but spent uselessly, steadily, nothing to make it attractive. Where is Mr. Cummings then? Just Mr. Cummings, not nobody else.
So first of all, I don't think the rally was filled. I think it was.
I said. Yeah,
let me state now. I don't think the rally was filled, but I think it was short of expectations. I think they expected more than what was put out there. And then, like I said, there were several factors probably that led to that.
That's what made it a failed rally.
But it was something that could have been avoided. So I believe it was self-inflated, right? The second thing I will say though is on the issue of him picking his VP and stuff like that, we're going to wait to see what happens, right? We're going to wait to see what that decision will be. I do know there's not a lot of options out there for all of the people in the opposition. I think that is as clear as a clean spring or summer day. There's not a lot of options out there.
So where is Mr. Cummings?
They will go ahead and they will make that determination. I do believe, though, and let me tell you this. This brings me again, and I know a lot of folks will look at me and say, but like I said, this is what it is. The same thing happened in the Gambia recently. And many people, like I said, I'm a student of history, so I like to talk about these things. In the Gambia, Yaya Jammeh was beaten by Adama Barrow because all the opposition working together. And guess what? All the opposition keep working together and pick Adama Barrow, who was a real estate agent. He was a real estate agent. He wasn't an experienced politician, right? Fast forward 4 or 5 years later, I think the presidential term is 5 years later or 5 years, right? Fast forward five years later, Adama Barrow was not on his best game. In fact, there were all this talk of corruption, all this talk of him turning into something that he was not. It's so and so and so. The opposition had everything going for them in the Gambia. What did they fail to do? They failed to coalesce and they failed to come together. They failed to have an agenda to provide an alternative for the people. The people went and elected Adama Barrow on the first ballot, 52%. Took the country totally off guard. Nobody expected it. The thing about the voters, and let me state here, on the issue of Cummings and the opposition, first of all, the bleeding has to stop. The bleeding in the opposition must stop. I don't know if the opposition have the capacity to stop the bleeding. That's another discussion, but it has to stop because as long as the bleeding continues, it benefits the CDC. Because voters, I said it the last time here, people were almost wanted to jump down my throat. Liberian voters didn't like hard time. They don't like hard time business. First of all, Liberian voters is hard for them to make concrete choices when they say, because first of all, we're such a small country, so nobody won't make anybody feel bad. And so as long as this bleeding happens, it gave the people a pathway to say, you're not serious. I was reading something from journalist Charles Yates. He said he was asking people today who went to the airport, all the things that happened here, they said, but the opposition people are not serious. So the typical mindset of stick with the devil, rather than
the angel you have not seen. Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much, guys. Let's wrap this thing up. Let's close. Good show, good program. We'll be here again tomorrow. We'll be having a wonderful conversation. The way forward, we are hearing from both ends of the aisle. Now, the front page Africa is coming up. President We Are School. Front page saying this thing. James, if you get it ready, we can put it up there. Front page coming up and say, We Are Schools. This is a big news right now on the front page Africa. Everything you've been crying, the president walked in the country, he spoke. And he just knocked everybody or changed the talking point, changed everything. Then we are here to say that, what did he bring back? He laid out. He told you a lot of good commitments. You decide now if you want to play politics out of this. Tomorrow we'll be here to discuss the issue about the opposition. We heard today the only possible chance is for Cummings and Senator Yombly Lawrence. Names went out there, Cummings and Bwaka and Cummings, folks are saying no. Bwaka and Yombly, folks are saying no. Bwaka and Tewon, Bwaka and Jeremiah Kuhn, Bwaka and Prince Moyi. Bwaka only knows who he's going to select. But Cummings, the winners is closing. The population game is closing in. And President Ware and Joe Howard Taylor is riding hard. We want to invite you guys tomorrow that we can have a wonderful program tomorrow. We want to ask you, John Spoon, every day this week. We got Dr. Chinua Richardson, Chairman Ben Senvi, St. Tumolin George, Dr. Peabody, Honorable Kev Hassan, and joining us always, the Honorable former Deputy Minister Eugene Lamy Fagon. If you want to be part of the Spoon Talk every night, we ask you please reach any one of us. Just let us know. Come in for your 30 minutes, your 1 hour, make your case and leave. If you want to be part of the Spoon Talk, we are running on 3 radio stations: Super TV, Super FM, Spoon TV, Spoon FM, Fabric TV, Fabric FM. We're running all our social media outlets and YouTube. Spoon will get stronger and better because we are bringing more equipment to cover the entire country. They will not like us though. Some will hate us, while some will laugh at us, and some will actually like us, while some will hate us. It is what it is. But we'll try our best to be free, fair, transparent, balanced, the best way we can. After the program, go on your social media and call us. We'll still buy you drink and eat and drink with you. We are here serving the Liberian people. This is the best we can do. Chairman Musa Belete, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Chairman. Chairman said, get ready, the biggest surprise, watch out. That's Benjamin Sandwich, Chairman from Liberty Party. Let's do our closing. Our only darling sister, Dr. Francine Chinua Richardson, will go first, well protected by 6 able-bodied men. Nobody will put forth. Dr. Richardson, go.
So again, thank you for protecting me. And as I said, God knows it's not easy being on the show in the midst of you guys. I want to just start by saying, what did you say?
For you, Dr. Richardson. Come on. You the most fussy person on the show.
I yell at the I yell at inaccurate editions. I yell at Kev, you said. So anyway, I want to say I started off this show by saying I will need some time to sort of filter out what the president brought back to the Liberian people, and I think it would be important for us to revisit the subject after he settles down and we get information from internal and external media to verify exactly what the commitment entails or what the expectations entails. I want you to know that again, the investigation of the 70,000 is developing and ongoing. So is the investigation about the gun. It is still ongoing. But I know Mr. Cummings has a history of having people pay the responsibility of the law. If the law says one is wrong, he has no problem allowing you to face the law. I will tell you a story in 2017, shortly after the elections. Someone stole Mr. Cummings' Toyota vehicle. I believe it was a Toyota vehicle right after the election. And the guy drove the car off and went all the way to Sierra Leone. Mr. Cummings pressed charges. He didn't rest. They went out and they got the guy who took the car to Sierra Leone. He happened to have sold the car. He sold the car, in Sierra Leone. And then, of course, when they brought him back to Liberia, he served terms. He served jail term. So I'm telling this story to suggest to you that Mr. Cummings is the man of law. He is going to abide by the law. And if someone turns out to have stolen the money, there will be an investigation and there will be consequences to be paid. So, for everyone who's talking about it, let's continue to keep our eyes open. I then want to turn my attention to the precedent, which I think is a more important conversation to have because it impacts about 5 million people in Liberia. President Weah is the president for Liberia. He was elected. He gets paid by taxpayers and donors' contribution. So when I come on this show to speak to you Liberians, that's who my conversation is about because of how it affects you. All right? But, in as much as Mr. Fagon wants to put Mr. Cummings on equal footing with the president, we can agree with that. Let's just go with that for a little bit. You can see very well that Mr. Cummings isn't perfect, but he would do a far better job than a president who left the country for 49 days. I can bet, my first grandchild, who I love dearly, that Mr. Cummings will never, ever leave our country on autopilot. For 49 days, in the midst of so many crises, rice crisis, rice shortage going on, religious corruption, census unable to start, and here our president taking $2,000 and traveling and then coming back to justify that his trip got paid by an external source, violating PPC laws, code of conduct, and all of our laws that promote development in our country. People, I will ask the common question you can ask in Liberia: are we stupid? Are we stupid? This president comes back to our country, instead of talking about, and somebody would say, my brother Ben Sammy would say, oh, it's political season, the president will come and jab and talk to jab at the opponent as expected. Yeah. But at the same time, did he interject how he's going to make our country better? You would think that he would have a balance, but he's good at throwing these jabs and having these loose talk. That's what he's good at. We know that. We've seen how he has sat and made promises to Liberian people. I told you guys earlier, he talked about the Bali Island, the coastal highway, 6,000 Nigerian teachers. Nothing panned out. It was all breeze. In Liberia, they say that all morale. That when he's in the last time, he has said he can use the word morale. That all morale, he was on there. Okay? Until the American government gave us the money, until we see something tangible, then we can speak about what Papa brought home. In the meantime, Papa ain't bring Jack. Let me just tell you guys right now. In the meantime, Papa did not bring Jack home. President Weah took the oath to protect and defend our country. And I expect him to protect us from food insecurity, rice insecurity. I expect him to protect our country from diseases that are killing Liberians every day in the country. I expect him to not come back and tell us, say, oh, Liberian people owe me. What kind of, I won't even use the word that I want to use yet, okay? That to come and say, oh, you owe me after I ain't pay you for 45 days. You're stupid? We stupid? No. So this president, I expected him to mount the podium like he did today and ask the question about McGill, Tuare, and Serena Cephas, who were said to be corrupt by the American government. What happened to that investigation? Maybe that's what he should have been talking about today. But our president came back to the country because they know that they can use and abuse our Liberian people. Because they don't want to educate our Liberian people and tell them what is good for them, as Mr. Cummings will do, and give everybody an equal opportunity. They want to keep us in where we are, in our little compartment. I will give you a few dollars paid to praise, sing, to be my prayer and worship team. But what kind of development will I provide for you so that I can be up to par with the rest of the developed countries or the countries in our area? Look at our country and look at Ghana, look at Sierra Leone, look at Guinea. And then I should come sit here and talk about the president good at throwing jobs, and he's going to ask a question, what happened to the gun Mr. Cummings' security was carrying? Why were they carrying gun? Have you seen Broad Street lately, Mr. President, how insecure it is? Have you seen when Princess Cooper died in the country, what kind of security was provided for, what kind of investigation and what kind of conclusion was provided for her death situation, Mr. President? You paid for investigators to come into the country. You paid for forensic experts to come in the country. But what happened? Your security apparatus dropped the ball. So, Mr. President, I want you now, it's okay, political season, throw some jabs, but then tell the Liberian people how you can help them, how they will no longer be spectators in their country. Tell them how you help them to build good schools. Tell them how you maintain, not just build 14 hospital and Bobolu Hospital and depend on expected commitment to come in. How will the hospital be maintained? Talk about the budget to the Liberian people. And on that note, I will steal my word from Mr. Fagon. I submit.
No interruption. Everybody remain quiet. You are fully protected by the doers of the law and the crafter of the law. You will be always protected, Dr. Richie said. Sintumani, We are wrapping this thing up. Nobody interrupted Dr. Richardson. We're gonna give everybody the
Okay,
chance.
like I said in the beginning, we we have 297 days to this election, right? And with the opposition community should now realize that when Dylan ran for election, they saw they come together. What they did to the Green establishment. They defeated the Green establishment twice to get Dylan to the Senate, and that was a result of having an opposition together that's united. Now they've seen it. Take it or leave it. All the thing about mysterious death, all this stuff that happened in the past. The Liberian people, we talk about it. Nothing can come out of it. They come away again. Only sometimes when opposition on a campaign show, they throw the jabs at the government. But what are they resonating with the people? We don't know. The CDC, they plan for this president return. They plan for it. They went to the drawing board, plan well, got T-shirts and said, look, we'll do it. I think they have food and all to after that program. Prepare well. So we got to show the people that our leader coming, got to protect. They went out there and they showcased. And the turnout was impressive. So, last time they had a program, yeah, I one of those who said the turnout was not impressive because there was not a CDC I knew. Even though today is not what the CDC would know no more, but the idea for such a long trip and all the attacks on his absence, the days coming up today was impressive. And as far as he's concerned, he's on a campaign show, on the mood. The president controls the national budget. He has projects that he's dedicating throughout the country on the nationwide to next year, which will give him an added advantage. That's why we keep telling the opposition. The people forget what happened yesterday. So they look at what happened at that moment. The president go and dedicate a clinic, a hospital, or some road projects and something. The people will just fall for it. Okay, so make no mistake. Opposition, if you think you can go, yeah, one day hope perhaps if you can come to a compact and say, look, we sign a compact today, we'll remain together. Our goal is to take President we are all right, but we not attack each other. If we're not attack, I want comes we attack Boga, but when attack comes, our supporters and so forth, we encourage them not to do it. But at the end of the day, whoever goes second round, if there's a second round, we come together. If you guys don't do it and think that attack each other and doing so and say, oh, the Liberian people will speak. Yes. President we are. I will tell you, I know this man, I've been doing the man since 2004. When he put our people down today, that Joe we are the element. That when I know he can flow. Prepare text, yeah, he won't you just read it. But when it comes to making his case, you put him people from in for him and he element where he has the control of the puppet, he will flow and what he did today. He spoke, he threw, and as he was talking, every time he said it, clap for him. He gave everything he could say about it. He brought the American factor there. He's always like, when you come to America, I'm going to be President Biden. First of all, how you say the man be President Biden when this man's a president? I don't care what happened. Africa do. Everybody going to meet Joe Biden. He didn't say he won't meet Biden. He came here, he met who he needed to meet. One of the disappointments that I'll tell you on the surface is that the president should have used that occasion to maybe do a press conference instead of a Thanksgiving service. He had assembled the press where he would ask a question the question will come to him, he will flow. He can talk more. But he should engage the press today. There was a good opportunity to engage the local press, the international press, engage them. The big question you can answer it, you answer it. Question you answer it. But I think he would have done this conference and he would have resonated more. Because people were carrying all around the world today. And the last thing is that I know the president wanted to come home with that compact. But he didn't talk about it today or he mentioned it. Yeah, I think that was the only part that he didn't speak about. But I'm sure he would have been a slam dunk. Just imagine now, if Just we have that compact. As I said, it turned out today would have tripled maybe because he would have come for a slam dunk. Free money they're giving you. Money that you come and do projects and so forth. So as I end, I'll repeat. Whoever managing Cummins, Boyka, and Taiwan, they better think twice. You guys will not make this thing easy for yourselves if you guys continue to stay aside and say you guys can do it alone. You are joking. Politics is dynamic, it's not stagnant. So, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Senator Martin. Dr. Peabody.
Well, it's always a great show, and I just want to piggyback to what I said at the inception of this show, in referencing my little verse. There's a time and there's a season for everything. And I think today what we witnessed was the Liberian people saying, in spite of our suffering, in spite of the killing, in spite of no rights, in spite of corruption, in spite of not getting the MCC funds, we are still happy. We want to support George Weah. And that's what we saw, because we saw them show up today in the numbers, and they show up. I mean, I give them the credit. They were really in unison. They were organized, and they went in. The Liberians saying, "Look, man, we are unmoved by all this thing that's going on." So I believe they are happy. They are satisfied. But at the end of the day, election will be decided by the Liberian people. They will go to the ballot, they will vote, and who they vote for, they will meet the consequences of their vote. So let me say here that my only concern here is the opposition are becoming opposition among themselves. They are opposing each other, disagreeing, they are destroying, and you cannot win. If the united we stand, divided we fall. And if the opposition is really going to be opposed to the coming election, there is a need for them to be united. You can't beat this and coming popular. In fact, I read about the opposition, the rally on Al Jazeera, and it said that President Weah still remain a popular man in Liberia. So in order for you to beat this incumbent, this popular guy, you all got to come together. If you think you can win an election throwing jab at each other, welcome, brother. Good luck. Thank you, but it was a great show. Great show.
The Dr. Peabody. Dr. Peabody. Thank you very much, bro. Let's bring in the Eugene Lamin Fagon.
Oh, thank you very much. When I get ready to talk, Dr. Francis can say, "Hey, God." I think you guys did a great job today. But I had no clue, and that's why I tell Dr. Francine, when you guys serve as surrogates to these political leaders, you got to learn how to speak our Liberian English if you want a Liberian put to lay your business. You can't say, "Are we stupid here?" No. Our people can say, "Are we stupid?" Now we get time for the long tea. Now, law English is speaking.
Eyes on this.
Are we stupid? Go around. What sentence to say, "Are we stupid here?" The Liberian people can say, "Looking like stupid here." But you want to read whole sentence.
What are we are talking today?
You get Liberian people. But you can't say, "Are we stupid here?" Secondly,
What
the place the team reaching now, Stanton, Dr. Francine betting human being. Oh, I bet my grandchild. Dr. Francine, Joey, I would have talked one time. He would have talked one time you bet your whole grandchild and play the TV. But anyways, you start betting your children and not all be like people scared of people. Okay, the CDC picking up, we cut that clip. I can bet my grandchild say the betting children are. Okay, but let me say this, okay? Everybody taking careful now, but let me say this. You see, Dr. Francine said the president should have talked about how he will protect and defend the country. Well, the last time I checked, there was no external threats, and there was not an invasion of our country, and that, as a matter of fact, the new armed forces of Liberia have solidified their position with each member states bordering our country. That is a fair news I can give you. And when you talk about protecting against disease, the great United States, Great Britain, France, Germany, and others could not hardly protect themselves against any of the COVID or any other thing, the monkeypox. They had to fight it. And so Liberia had to fight her own. And when you talk about the 150, not 150, when you talk about why the president will talk about commitment and other things, he should be talking about other issues, but instead he used the bullet puppets. Hey, it's politics. Because at the end of the day, the president, according to you, Mr. Fagon wants to hold the president and Cummings at the same standard, which is good. No, I'm not trying to do that. That's why you see the president say, I'm trying to do something our other showmen, because they're not at the same standard. One is the president, one is a candidate, is what I said. I won't say, oh, the other showman, but it's two of them business. But again, what am I trying to say? You're trying to, every little thing you want to talk about, you will talk about it when it regards President Weah. He makes a commitment, he doesn't stand by it. You told her you would get 150,000 for COVID. Did you stand by it? You said to us, you said, look, listen, man, I built school for y'all. I know it says STEM school or potato green school, but whatever STEM it was, Coca-Cola said, no, we built the school. So again, that's number two. You want us to talk about the security gun. Well, that was a violation of our law. McGill is chief of staff in the office of the president. Americans allege that he was corrupt and they sanctioned him. The very same night, you spoke and said the president should suspend him. In fact, you said the president should fire him. Well, your security right next to you for 7 years unlawfully carry a firearm to a populated protest. Nothing from you. They stole your own 70,000 in your office. Nothing from you. You talk about the president built hospital and all the other things, but you don't see much of it. When we make these kind of statements, and I'm not saying the opposition should not attack President Weah, deal with the issue, but you saw what President Weah said today? I'm going to close on this one because it's sweet to me. President Weah said, all the things you see spoil around here, that didn't spoil it. All the new things you see around here, we don't want to build it. Tell me whether that message does not resonate with the Liberian people. In short, he's saying, I'm a 56-year-old guy. All they put in is either 80 years old or 65, 66 years old. When we were beginning, they were spoiling things. We don't want trying to build it now. I wasn't here. I was playing football. But if President Weah can knock a chest and say, I built the first modern parks. I built the first, I'm using S to A now, Dr. Francine, like English. I built the first modern parks. I built the first modern hospitals. I built the first modern stadiums. Okay? I turn around, I built the first modern inner city road connections. I turn around, and he's saying all these things. If he asks you the question, but Cummings then would have said I'm millionaire. Me, I didn't want a president, oh. But they Cummings then what said a millionaire, they get all the money. What did they not build? What did they not do? They gave your BTC, then they gave your clinic. I gave your hospital. They gave your Morovia. Tobertown, they paid. They came, they damaged it. They damaged the mansion. They said they will rebuild it. But I don't want King and Kirk Road to Lookington, West Point, and other places. Hospitals. They built JFK. almost 60 years ago. Ellen Kim, she built Jackson F2. That was it. Go look. These places that they built, Toba Billy, the Cabal Estate, Matari Estate, Ujoy Estate, the King, they went all, they destroyed most of it, they damaged it. I didn't pay estate, but I built housing unit in Sastan, in Histanimi, all the areas. We don't need to go down this road. What you need to hold, President, we have two. If you want to succeed. One, the insecurity and lawlessness. Two, that yes, you see the economy, according to IMF and World Bank reports, doing better. Is it impactful on the normal person? You saw the harmonization. It was supposed to, all the kind of letting, but you go any other area, infrastructure, he will be up. Education, he will be up. Agriculture, he will be up. Infrastructure, he will be up. He will be up on everything except law and order, and whether there's a trickle-down effect of the economic growth that the government is projecting. Anything to the contrary. Like Tommy can always say, that's not like usual, you will make it. The only pathway to the presidency for Kumis is through Joseph Boakai. And that is, if he teams up with Joseph Boakai, then we have two powerful foes against two powerful foes, and we'll see where the Yombly and the Dillon factor will lean. Because Prince Johnson beat Kumis. Ben, am I correct?
Yeah, but when you keep saying the only power for Cummings, what's the power for Boakai?
Wait, let me finish. We're closing, Ben.
No, I don't want you to include that. He said only Cummings. That's why I want to know what the power for Boakai. Is it the same thing for Boakai?
George we are first, Joe Boakai second from 2017, and the numbers huge. Then we came to Ben Pape, Bromskin third, Prince Johnson fourth, Cummings a distant fifth with 7%. If Boakai decide to carry Cummings, that is, Cummings, yes, that is an addition, because Prince Johnson has already said he will support. That is, if modalities are worked out, we already know it's a conditionality. But then, from Prince Johnson, you come to the Bromskin people, and the Bromskin people are divided. Benin on one side, the other poor on one side. So, our elections, CEO says the two highest, right? It will definitely be who? I put my neck on the line. It will be Joe Boakai and George Weah if there's a second round. Cummings is out. And Cummings will go wait for what? 2029? I myself will be in 2029. I don't think Cummings can defeat me. Before I say the likes of maybe McGill, Snow, Tuer, Jewel, all the other people there. You put all of them. It's not going to work. So he either go with Boakai now or return to the United States. And I'm closing by repeating it. He either decide to go with Boakai now or return to the US. And I think it will be difficult because there is one word missing in the matrix. And that word is trust. I repeat, there is one word missing in the matrix of the two coming together. That word is trust. Why it's true, I will not overrule the ability of men to make peace. In the absence of trust, it will be difficult to maintain. I respectfully submit, CEO. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, Honorable Fagon. Thanks a lot, Chairman.
Anyone tell Cummings the truth and I tell
Chairman,
you the truth.
since you've been away for a while, I'm going to keep you for last. Let me bring in Kev Hassan.
Wow. For the past weeks, I had a terrible day, terrible beating. But, sometimes they say the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. I hear folks saying, I heard my brother Fagon saying, the only way for Cummings through Buckeye. I think the Liberian people are smart enough now. Maybe before, if they come together, they will see that force. But now, the Liberian people understand how desperate Mr. Comey is. And if he joined Buckeye, it will be even worse. It will be the worst mistake that Buckeye will do. Because they know the man, number one, the guys around,
they can't figure wicked.
They know how desperate. The greatest mistake in his political career to take a desperado and include him in his campaign as running mate. Why am I saying that? This man doesn't have no territory that he can take. What added value that he can take to GMB? Zero. No added value. Let's look at Kamala. She took the black vote and the female vote. Biden for Obama. The Pennsylvania area. Look at what vice president, the quality. Look at Joel Howard Taylor. What's she bringing? Let's stop joking here, man. Stop joking. Don't joke. What this man?
Kev, hold on a minute. Kev asking a very, very good question.
I thought we closed.
Yeah, we close. I beg you guys, please. But no, seriously, I want you to think about this question Kev is asking, and a lot of people asking the same question. What added value for anyone right now to take comments if it is not money? Kev, continue, please.
Yeah.
So
when folks say take him, the GMB camp, you can say what you want to say. They have a lot of intelligent folks there. They do. They're looking for their own money. That tells me they don't want him. You can get the money, you can't get votes.
Especially what Yakula said.
You can't even sit on the table to have drink? No. No. The Cummings presidency is over. It's over. Get it through. People should get it through their head. It's over. The protest was a referendum on Mr. Cummings' presidency. It failed. Wow. It's over. So we should stop and playing around and say, oh, Mr. Cummings and this. It's over. Finito. Let's move on. The Liberian people don't like him. They don't want him. They don't know him. They rejected him. No way. Let me tell you, Liberians are not ungrateful people. No matter what. They remember. The children remember. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why they choose George Manawia. Because they know him. In 3 years, because 2 years gone with COVID, in 3 years, the stuff that this man did and doing right now, they can see it. They can feel it. That in River said, that old man who going to that hospital can feel it. The roads, they can see it. Oh no, they can see the free tuition. I remember on the set, we're raising some money to give to one of our journalists. CEO said, "Oh, to pay your school fee." He said, "No, I'm not paying you, Elio. I'm not paying." I So living testimony of our journalists who going to school right now, saying on this network, I'm not paying a dime. What I mean, he can feel it. His parents feeling it. So they will vote for him. And James, put that picture up I sent you, please. The last time you saw this picture, a picture like this, you're telling me the Omar, you're telling me this is another one. The last time I saw another Omar did something like this, what happened?
Call the Omar name. Her name was Sekwe. Okay. Omar Sekwe.
Okay. You see what happening today? They love this man because they know him. They know him. Not because he judged Manawia, but because what this man did for Liberian people and keep doing. The people are not ungrateful. A millionaire called for protest. The people refuse. They refuse. We don't know you. Hey, CEO, Doctor, you know the Bible. Were you there? You in Matthew, I think 25. You give me bread, you feed me, you do all this. I think it's in Matthew.
I say Kev quoting power tonight. Now you say
and what Jesus will say, or what God will say. I know you're not. The people are telling Mr. Cummings, we don't know you. We know you not. We don't know you.
Hallelujah.
I don't want you. And let me tell you, and let me speak to Mr. Cummings directly. They don't like you. You took your money. You took your money that you're supposed to give people at that rally to eat. You brought it to Washington, D.C. to put sanction on people. They know that. The Omar they're crying right now. Who? And sanction individual. I tell them McGill were raising funds for them. True friends. Good people in Liberia. You stop it. You expect them to come outside. You put suffering on that Omar because of the sanction you put on Natal McGill. You say you tired? You say you tired? You put sanction on the man who helping our mothers, our children. I can play a video for you. A woman who was sitting by the road. Child was dying. McGill was passing. Fago, you know that. I took that child. And that child is living today. You know how many children of that passing around? That because of the action of Mr. Cummings, they are suffering. You know how many children will die because McGill is not driving along that way and helping because of the sanction? You know how many people will die because they are afraid because of the rhetoric that coming from the ANC? Don't talk to McGill, and they are afraid to come to McGill. And I say to our people, keep coming. Every week we will get, we will help. And Mr. McGill is a good man, he will help. And the reason the people are rejecting you, Mr. Cummings, you should have taken that money you gave to Alan White, them, and carried to Maryland that you think. Instead of you allowing them to put you on a hammock and then women bend down and tie your shoes, give them food. Help them. And that's what Judge Banawea did. Before he ever will petition, because Judge Banawea will petition, they petition him, they ask him, Liberian people ask him, Mr. Cummings, nobody ask you. The people ask Judge Banawea, nobody ask you. The people ask Judge Banawea to come. They took him from the football field. They say, retire. We want you. So don't come here in the country that you neglect for decades upon decades. Then you want to come here and tell people the tired suffering. Why you put sanction on people who helping people? What a deception. But again, president says something. Let me go to our papi. The president says something. You are agriculture minister. Then you talking about rice. You talking about the rice. You talking about rice. You know, I want. Let's face, because for me, yes, sir, for me, I think Mr. Cummings don't have rating. It's a waste of time. I think when we get to New Year, we should start discussing, and let's face Buckeye, because Buckeye it will be formidable. He's the one who need to talk. We need to explain about a failed leadership as a president of the Senate, as a vice president, and 1979, 1980. We need to talk about him. Let's explain who this man is, but not Mr. Cummings. I think Mr. Cummings is a complete failure, and the Liberian people have rejected him. And I repeat, Saturday, this past Saturday, it's a referendum, and they reject him. And I think that I would say his discussion should not be taken seriously anymore.
Thank you very much, Kev Hassan. Chairman, you want to take us home?
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm looking for the team, Mafia. I can see it.
Mafia 25.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble. It's election season. Look, I'm reminded of the ferocity and the extreme length and the heat of the 2017 campaign. That's why I'm not panicking, and I'm not, because I've seen this movie before. This Fagon on this platform right here, he attempted to, to a certain degree, he succeeded. I gave him credit. Puncturing holes in our messages when we came out with the integrated team. And when we coined that phrase, our strength was that Charles Brumsky was a man of integrity, and then we picked Harrison Conway, who also was another man of integrity. He's a serving government. You can find no corruption on Harrison Conway. We presented this ticket to the world as national chairman of the Liberty Party during those times. In my speech, I said, I present to the Liberian people the integrated team. And the CDC ran into a frenzy. Because the issue is messaging. And I saw the surrogates and the propagandists, Fagon King always a dashboard, picking apart the integrated team. And after that, we went on the defensive. I remember there was a moment where it was concluded that Charles Brumsky was the next president of Liberia. I remember.
Mm-hmm. True.
Momentum is important in electioneering. 2023 will not be like 2017. Why? We have an incumbent in the race. And I'm speaking directly because I'm saying this. George Weah is not an ordinary candidate. Like I said, when you go into war, you study your opponents. You study the battlefield. You try to figure out where the ambushes are laid. You fight to get human intelligence. That old lady or that papi or that young boy you see walking on the side of the highway. You walk, your soldiers walk their way. Your people walk their way, no uniform on, right? And to be able to gather human intelligence. Where you saw our opponent walking here. It is going to be a tough election.
I think today President Weah kicked open the campaign. He did. He came with so much zeal. I think he fed off of what he saw because he had gotten beaten for the last 40-something days. I will say this. Until, and I think I said it earlier, this issue of the bleeding, the CDC, for me, is they may not be good at a lot of things, though. They may not be good at a lot of things. I think Tommy said it earlier. But I've seen them maneuver and outmaneuver their way to survive. And when you go against a competitor and that competitor defeats you, you tend to respect that competitor. So I would say, as we get ready for the rumble in the jungle, we all will sit. Whichever way we participate, we will be involved and we will see the messaging. But make no mistake, I keep saying this. This election will be won or lost based on how you connect to the people. How the people see themselves in you. What message you gave. To beat an incumbent, you have to make the election a change election. No incumbent is defeated if the election is not about change. And while you make that election about change, you have to present a force against that incumbent. That the incumbent will not even be able to figure out where they can find their bearings from. The ruling establishment have the advantage of statecraft. They have the biggest bully pulpit. They don't have to pay for press. It is a serious, serious battle. But I will say this. The race is not to the swift.
He that endures to the end.
But who endures to the end? I've seen this movie before. I've seen this movie before. I've had a front row seat. And that's why when I speak the way I speak. Some people think I'm coy. Some people think, oh, Ben, we know where you at. Listen, it's wisdom. It's understanding that these things are fluid and that you have to make decisions in real time. You saw what George Weah did today. No one expected it. Well, I knew he was coming, guns blazing, but for him to go personal and call out names, he started the campaign today. I'm waiting to see what his competitors will do tomorrow. It's good to be back. I love this. Listen, this is amazing. And until we can, there will be more to do. But still, don't worry.
Wait.
We coming strong.
Well, listen. You guys know me already. Ready. Don't worry, because man moving, man dropping. This is the way we say it. But let me say this: a wonderful program, a good show. Man, that's a good team. Beautiful team. I think up to October 10th, 2023, there should be no addition. There should just be some contributing factors. People come and go. The team is back. Let's make the case. Everybody relax. I don't know, because I think it's the Christmas thing everybody receive. So everybody looking sharp. Look at the money relaxing. I put his head up. I think that's that. Ben, you receive your stuff, right?
What's it? Oh, yeah. Yes, I did.
Look at that. I see why Ben came back. Tony, that's why Ben came back. Forgot you receive yours?
Yes, I did.
My man, the thing I'm telling you, Ben tells for. Ha!
Oh, Fago, they ask you question. Don't question, Ben.
Fago, you want to change you receive yours?
Don't change the question, Ben.
On the show, we can say,
I received nothing.
Fago, you left. The last time you want to know, you got it, man. I go like bro for Christmas.
I see why Fago flew early this morning to go back.
No, I flew to Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
I went to Charlotte. From Charlotte to Tri-Cities.
Okay, but guys, I want to show. Let me say this.
I enjoy that.
Let me let me do my closing real quick. Well said, everybody. We look up to the Liberian people like Dr. Peabody would say all the time. They're going to decide. This is who we are. We're going to give our opinion, but we're going to talk to them. Get mad. It's time for you to wake up. If you support anybody, just support them with all your heart. But as we get closer to the election, I do believe, I told Timon and George, when the game was on, FIFA World Cup, when all the little teams start dropping off, America went off and all this thing, I said, man, yeah, the rare team that coming on now, the rare game. And that's exactly what's about to happen. People are going to drop off. Don't be surprised. People are going to fire people. Some faces you see, you will see them no more. They will be in the back. And I do believe it must happen. Ask yourself the question, why Joseph Boakai didn't say anything, but he's still winning in the opposition? Why Joseph Yeman Boakai, former vice president, sitting home? It's very hard for him to talk, but he's still winning. President, we had 48 days, 49 days out of the country, came back fire. Then you that doing all the talking, you can see your way through. A lot of people, I will speak. I don't want to be restrained, guys. Stop looking at me and stop texting me. Give me a chance to speak. Because whenever I finish speaking to money, they say, my man. So this time, if I'm ready to speak, I will take too money off the set. But I do believe, for the sake of good heaven, say better 20 if you ever put it down. If this race is not for you, don't waste the people's time. Let's cut to the chase. We will be very, very rough on this show. I will say my own like I see it. The election will be over before October 10. This election, the people will decide this election before October 10, 2023. I tell you, no joke. If you announce anybody's name, check behind them. Know who they are. Know what they have done. You can't call somebody's name and the person just mess you up, run away with your money, give you a failed rally, project themselves, then projecting you. That's a problem. When we're beating on the government about leges, about rest issue, y'all were happy. We start beating on y'all, then y'all start causing my cause. We don't cause my cause here. We just make it very simple for the Liberian people to understand it. Everybody will have a piece of the pie because Liberia deserves better. That Mr. Cummings can change those bad apples around him, Mr. Cummings will continue to decline. Tell Mr. Cummings can stand up and speak up and remove some folks that continue to play game and steal and make him feel that he have won the election. When the election have not started yet, Mr. Cummings will continue to go down in history like the worst billionaire that came to Liberia and never succeed in the Liberian politics. Period. That's the fact. I mean, that's it. Say what you want to say. I think, though the president had a good day today, but the president too, he must continue on the path of transformation. All the people that came to say Hosanna in the highest, few days later, they say crucify him. The Liberian people, most of them, 95% of them, they are washing. A president, we are continuing in the path to think that everything is okay, and he doesn't turn around and turn around now, the people will speak to him, and probably he won't like it. We know the game. You take boss, you carry here, you pay people, they come, they celebrate you. That's the game of politics in Liberia. But let's face it. Let's speak truth to power. Something must change. Something must change. Jose Yimabwaka, he cannot sit for long. He must get out of the bubble and the shed and speak to the Liberian people and give them reason why he should be elected. These are the things we are talking about, and that's my passion. So I don't care who come after me. I will tell the Liberian people exactly what I feel like. You have President Weah, Jose Yimabwaka, Mr. Cummings, and the rest of them. If they fail to satisfy the Liberian people and they feel entitled, the Liberian people will speak and they won't like it. The hint to the wise man will always be sufficient for the wise man. And I hope they listen. And I hope they listen. We need to be honest here. Everybody have the skeleton in the closet. Everybody have their own issue. A lot of people call me, Stanton, we have come to the place there will be no Bwaka and Cummings ticket. Then I said, who Cummings will carry? They call this name, they call the name. There will be no Bwaka and Cummings ticket. Who Bwaka will carry? They call this person name. The names they are calling, they have their own issues. They have their own baggage. They are not thinking about the Liberian people. How can you call a Prince Moi to Jose Yimabwaka? I mean, Jose Yimabwaka will end up losing the election because a Prince Moi have agreed to everything that passed through the Senate. He is not a vice president material. How dare you call a Prince Moi to a Jose Yimabwaka and you think you people win election? He's not listen. And when I was speaking to somebody, they said, "But don't you know you have come to the place of saying we were not." He's not even care again whether he become a vice president. Even his own family telling him, "You know what, Mister, you just drop this thing. You cannot be vice president for Bwaka," and he have come to realize it. He cannot. You can never ever be vice president of Jose Yimabwaka, and you is realizing it. Then somebody said Prince Moi get his wife in Europe printing t-shirt that said Jose Yimabwaka and Prince Moi. It will not work. Prince Moi is a bad apple in the Senate. He may have some money, but he's a dangerous bad apple in the Senate. If you connect him to Jose, that's what Kev said. Let's talk about Jose Yimabwaka. If you connect him to Jose Yimabwaka, first round, he's out of the race. Or he can deliver Bon County. That can never be. Prince Moi have agreed with everything, every liberal envelope. He cannot be a vice president. He's not a vice president material. That's why it's hard. And the Liberian people will speak. You'll stop playing this game. Oh, let's take Yombli Kanga Lawrence and Mr. Cummings. The devil is in the details. No matter what Ben and Musa can do, what Delon can do to create a peace accord and take the entire Liberty Party to Mr. Cummings, it will be rough for them to win the election either. I will leave you with this. A few months back, the team Yombli, Delon, Gloria Muson Scott, all of them, they want to give a proposal to JMB. They went ahead to give a proposal to JMB. You know, we have come, we want to commit Liberty Party Yombli to you. But we want you to commit to us that you give us the VP stake. They are fishing. They are fishing. You know, when we hear these things and we talk about it, then people say, why not? I will tell you though, nobody in the minds of JMB, but I will tell you, JMB taking Yombli, I'm not saying it. Ask me why tomorrow. No name out there that JMB can take right now to win election. No name out there that can bring Mr. Cummings to the path of victory right now either. If I'm going to say JMB and Mr. Cummings, can that work? I'm not saying it. We passed. Chairman Ben said the train had left the station. We passed that. Fagon, we passed that long since.
I actually said no trust.
We passed that. So George Manawia should be in the place, in that comfort zone, to do what he promised then his people in Liberia. Remove some bad apples and start doing the right thing. The Liberian people love you, like you say, love them too. But the whole opposition, man, when I ask Fagon, what next for them? No head, no tail. No head, no tail for the opposition. This is horrible, this is bad, but this is good for the ruling party. The folks can go on and start cussing and start saying their thing. That's the business. They don't understand their own party. Some of them just talk. What we are privileged to, they are not. And what is happening? What is happening? If they cannot go back to the drawing board, I would take to money war. There's a possibility that George Manawia can win the election first round. There's a possibility that George Manawia can win this election first round. And as we get closer to the election, and these grown men stay within the pride and the egos, and they fail to humble themselves, you'll find the Musa Bedete supporting George Manawia. You'll find the very folks that are around them that they trust supporting George Manawia. And where Musa Bedete go, Martin Cody will go. When Martin Cody go, you remember Musa Bedete and Ben Sevi when they left Liberty Party? Fago, you remember that, right?
No, it was Ben Sevi and Musa Bedete. It was Ben Sevi and Musa Bedete.
Musa Bedete and Ben Sevi? Fago, you remember that? And many of them, and many more.
We were upholding the Ganta Declaration.
During my close to
but why you going far play and pencil Kumis like Kennedy?
No, that was a slip button. That was a slip button.
You said Musa Bedete never. So Musa Bedete responding to you.
Musa Bedete was said never now because he's getting 6 million wolf for coming. But baby, that thing, man. Musa Bedete was said never now. He know that. But we're telling you that which is right.
Now you start you.
If you don't get yourself together, there's a possibility that President George Manawia will win the first round and shut this whole thing up. We will wake up on the 11th of October to have a re-elected president. I'm saying this because right now, as it stands, Mr. Cummings, it's like he's starting all over again. And you know the song, starting all over again. It's gonna be rough. You have a beautiful night. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All comments are of individual. All comments are of individual.
Let me wish my mother.
You know, we need to do the disclaimer. Everybody else.
Let me wish my Mother Tumin Play celebrated her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday in Liberia, Mother. What a Tumin Play.
Enjoying Liberia. Enjoying Liberia there. What a Tumin Play.
Let me ask a question, and I will leave you guys with a question. Tomorrow we should give a full update on Minister Samuel Twain. A full update. I do have it. And you know Samuel Twain is our friend. But let's keep him and his wife and his family in our prayer. It's not easy, but we wish them well. Openly, I can say this. I know what the information I received today. I believe if all goes well, Minister Twain probably get another long time out of the country undergoing treatment. But we wish him well. We hope he can return to the country pretty soon. We can say everything we want to say because of politics, but I can double dare you. We want to see Mr. Twain back. That we can beat on him more, that he can talk a lot and give us important information. But we want to see Mr. Twain, his wife, and everybody involved in that accident well. We wish them well, and our prayers are with them. All Liberians folks tonight, that's part of politics. When you go to bed tonight, pray for the 12 family. The accident have taken a toll on them, and we hope they can bounce back and bounce back very strong. Politics aside, we wish him well. It's worth the driver, everybody. We'll be giving a full update on Minister 12.
Guys, have a wonderful day. We're praying for you, man, every day.
Yeah. James, good day. Have a good day. Rufus, have a good night. Guys, Dr. Francine, we always blessed to have you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being patient with every one of us. We appreciate your thoughts and your insight. And we say thanks to thanks to Abraham Richardson for agreeing with you, not allowing you, by accepting the fact that you can hang on here for 3-4 hours with these guys. All of them are not good, but I'm the best, and you know that.
I'm gonna be better your neck. I'll be better my first print out. All right, see ya later.
You want John DG now?
I see why you flew so fast this morning. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Okay.
Hey, you are me.
He had a meeting yesterday. He didn't know.
He had a good meeting yesterday. Let's do the morning 5 o'clock.
Yesterday.
3 senators.
Why you guys talking about it? Watch it. But that's when he was flipping your body.
You pay fine. Good night, brother.
All right, folks. Many thanks to all of you for watching. This is how we love to go home. We hope you're going to be with us tomorrow. Bye-bye from my end.